So, I said to move the bonfire somewhere else, and out of nowhere, Smokey Bear shows up and hugs me.
So you noticed some wildfire hazards and moved your bonfire to a safer location.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Smokey, all right. He likes it when people help prevent wildfires. It hits him close to home. Not everybody gets the hug, my friend. So that's pretty special to get a hug from Smokey Bear.
So it was him. Hey, guys, I told you it was Smokey.
Okay, well, congratulations, my friend. And thanks for calling. There are many ways to prevent a wildfire. Learn how you can do your part at SmokeyBear.com.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Sponsored by the U.S. Forest Service, Ad Council, and your state forester.
Hope you enjoyed your meal. And I just want to say, he's lucky to have a brother like you.
Lucky? Caring for my brother is far from easy. Waking up every day, lifting him from the bed to the wheelchair to the car to get him to therapy on time, it's no small task between the doctors and the diagnosis, but nothing can disable this love. This is my big brother, my hero. He's part of me, like my arms and legs, so I'll be his. See, there's no time for tired. This starts again tomorrow. He'll be waiting for me. I wake up for him. I know he needs me, but I'm the lucky one, even though I need help now and then.
If you're caring for a loved one, visit aarp.org/caregiving for care guides and community, or call 877-333-5885. Caregiving Resource Center. Support for your strength. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
People been saying to your friend, get a different face, and posting on their feed, they're super ugly. The things they say to them online are cruel and they're not true. So tell your friend, I'll stand up for you. Don't worry, I know what to do. Tell the world I see with an emoji to stop the bullies.
Know someone who's being bullied online? Send the witness emoji. It looks like an eye in a speech bubble, and it's in the symbol section near the clocks in your phone. You'll let the world know it isn't cool, and you'll let your friend know you care. Learn more about the witness emoji at iWitnessBullying.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
It may be hard to believe, but people just like you are already saving money. FeedThePig.org makes it easy. Their simple savings plan teaches you how to start saving without going overboard. So you don't need to mooch off your friends.
You gonna finish that grape?
You mean the one in my mouth?
You don't need to stop buying the necessities.
What you're smelling is a natural musk.
Ew.
You don't need to be a medical test subject.
How do you feel?
Mostly okay. Sometimes, though.
You don't need to get a second job as a stuntman.
We need a new stuntman. Let's break for lunch.
You just need an internet connection. Don't get left behind. Start your personal savings plan with the tips and tools on feedthepig.org. That way, you don't need to sell your soul to the devil.
$15 is the best I can do.
All right, deal.
Brought to you by the American Institute of CPAs and the Ad Council.
When is the best time to talk to your family about staying in touch during a disaster? When floodwaters reach your door? When wildfires are engulfing the edge of your neighborhood? Or an earthquake is destroying buildings? When a tornado is tearing through town? Or a hurricane strikes? Or is the best time perhaps today? During a disaster, you may not be able to stay in touch with your family or friends as easily as you think. And it's not always as simple as using your cell phone. That's why now is the time to take action. Go to ready.gov/communicate and make your emergency plan today. Don't wait. Communicate. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Do current market conditions have you nervous? Our experienced team of financial professionals at Heritage Harbor Financial Associates understands that no two investors are alike. We all have different goals, needs, and appetites for risk. That's why the one-size-fits-all approach does not work, especially when planning for retirement. At Heritage Harbor Financial Associates, we analyze your unique investment style so that you can work toward your individual retirement goals on your terms. Heritage Harbor Financial Associates can help you take steps to reach your retirement goals by providing a wide array of financial products to fit your needs, even for the risk adverse. Give us a call at 631-331-6599 to learn more or to set up an appointment with one of our financial professionals. You can also find us on the web at hhfa.org or on Facebook at facebook.com/hhfa.org. Our number again is 631-331-6599. That's 631-331-6599. Investments in stock, bonds, and mutual funds and variable annuities are not FDIC insured and are subject to fluctuation in value and market risk, including loss of principal. Heritage Harbor Financial Associates offers securities through AXA Advisors LLC, New York, New York. Member FINRA, SIPC, annuity and insurance products offered through AXA Network LLC.
Be fearless at MMA Long Island and Seituha Karate. Located at 28 Colt Court in Ronkonkoma, MMA Long Island is the martial arts school for you if you want to learn combat-proven techniques, build confidence, discipline, and self-esteem while learning real martial arts to fight back against bullies, predators, and peer pressure. MMA Long Island offers group and private lessons for all ages and levels in traditional Goju-Ryu Karate, MMA, and self-defense. MMA Long Island is one of Long Island's most affordable martial arts schools. There are no promotion, belt, or membership fees, and family discounts are available. All classes are taught by 7th degree black belt Sensei John Benedict with over 30 years teaching experience. So whether you want to get in the ring or protect yourself and your family, MMA Long Island can help you reach your goals. Visit MMALongIsland.com. That's MMALongIsland.com or call or text 516-381-9660. That's 516-381-9660.
Edward Lehman has been a trusted insurance advisor for over 16 years with insurance solutions for auto, home, commercial, life, and retirement. He's located at 54 Sunnyside Boulevard, Suite H in Plainview. That's just 1,000 feet south of 495. Local agent, local advice. The time to think about insurance is before you need it. So do yourself a favor and before you pay your next insurance bill, give Ed and his team a call, 516-935-3900, or visit him online at www.allstate.com/EL. Edward H. Lehman Insurance is your trusted insurance advisor.
Take a look under your bed. Find stuff under there? What about jobs? No? Now try your basement. There's a pair of overalls that overall you're not so into anymore. A perfectly good laptop that hasn't sat in your lap in months. And even more stuff, but still no jobs? Well, you really have both. See, stuff is defined as household articles considered as a group. Sometimes this stuff is no longer needed. Wait, no longer needed? That can't be right. Because remember those jobs you were looking for? Those are really needed. And they're the stuff inside your stuff. Even inside that winter coat that moved with you to Phoenix. Our job is to unlock those jobs. And it starts when you donate your stuff to your local Goodwill. Here's how we do it. When you donate to Goodwill, we sell your stuff to provide job training for people right here in your community. So just by teaming up with Goodwill, you help create jobs. And isn't that worth parting with the leftover keytar from your 80s cover band? Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs. Find your nearest donation center at goodwill.org. A message from Goodwill and the Ad Council.
Dear John, I was hoping it wouldn't come to this, but you've left me no choice. I'm leaving. Uncontrolled high blood pressure is really serious, and lately you seem to really not care. I've been there for you since day one, and I know you think I'm gonna keep ticking, but no, my friend, I can quit whenever I want. Why can't we get back to the good times, when we were more active and ate more healthy foods, and you checked on me every once in a while? Is that too much to ask? I don't want to leave, but unless you stop ignoring me, what else am I supposed to do? Remember, when I quit, you quit. Sincerely, your heart.
Listen to your heart. Don't let it quit on you. Doing the minimum to control your high blood pressure isn't doing enough. High blood pressure can lead to a stroke, heart attack, or death. Get your blood pressure to a healthy range before it's too late. Find out how at heart.org/blood pressure. Check, change, control. A message from the American Heart Association, the American Stroke Association, and the Ad Council.
Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Jason Derulo. I love that music connects to people all over the country. But unfortunately, so does something else. Childhood hunger. 15 million kids struggle with hunger right here in America. And yet, every year, billions of pounds of surplus food in the U.S. go to waste instead of going to the children in need. Feeding America is working to change this. The Feeding America nationwide network of food banks rescues this surplus of food to help provide meals to families in virtually every community in the United States, including yours. But they just can't do this alone. Join me in the fight against hunger in America. For more information on what you can do to get involved, visit feedingamerica.org. That's feedingamerica.org. Together we can solve hunger. Together, we're feeding America. A message from Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Hey everyone. Let's all stop what we're doing right now and take a moment. That felt good, huh? Just like that, we had a nice special sort of moment together. Of course, they don't all need to be quiet moments to be special. They could be loud moments, goofy moments, sporty moments, dorky moments. Moments where we talk or walk or just hang out. It doesn't really matter. They all count. Because every time dads like us take a moment like that to spend with our kids, well, it's pretty momentous. Sounds like somebody agrees. So let's take a moment to make a moment. Today, call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
It's the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
You are now about to witness the strength of street knowledge.
Number 70!
We're talking about practice.
Hello, you play to win the game.
The Yankees are champions of baseball.
Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
3, 2, 1, happy 2000!
No time on the clock, and the Patriots have won Super Bowl 36.
Jordan open. Chicago with the lead.
Worldwide Sports Radio Network presents Below the Mic.
Hello, Long Island, New York, and around the country. This is Below the Mic. I'm your host, Errol Marks, and my co-host, the great and powerful world of whoever. That's what we call him. And we also call him Mr. Tidy Whitey Man, or super Tidy Whitey Man, Mr. Speedy Petey.
I hope it's not Soupy.
Well, it could be Snoopy, or it could be Snoopy. It could be something
No, I don't
else.
think I don't think I'm as epic as Snoopy.
I like Snoopy. I like the Snoopy little Speedy Petey. Anyways, you can call us at 631-500-0548 is the number to call. Am I right, Speedy? That would be correct. Right. And you can also go to our website at www.worldwidesportsradio.com and download our app, ladies and gentlemen, by going to iOS, which is WWSRN, or Android Worldwide Sports Radio Network. Speedy Petey, we're going to have more snow here in Long Island and throughout the tri-state area. How do you feel?
Probably I will feel cold. That's for sure.
I don't listen. There's a lot of things going on right now with our network. I do not like the fact that snow is coming. It's really washing away a lot of things that I have planned, especially with some of the meetings that I have set up for the network, and it's affecting me. So I do not like the snow right now with all these different snowstorms that we've had the last couple of weeks.
I thought you liked the cold weather.
I do. Here's the thing, and I think people forget this. The snow stops you from doing a lot of things that you want to do. You can't drive anywhere. You can't go anywhere. I love it. It's beautiful. I can't really snow shovel because of my neck. So obviously, I'm in that barrel of whatever you want to call it. It's just not good. And I like to do things, and I have other things going on for our network, and it's holding me back, Speedy. So I am not very excited about it. But nevertheless, we're getting the snowstorm, even if I like it or not. So there you go. Anyways, we have a great show lined up for you. We have a great guest lined up for you at 7:15.
The triumphant return
of Mr. Devin Speedy.
Devin Kirkwood, the #1 cornerback recruit in the country, the number 13 overall athlete recruit in the country. And as we mentioned about a couple months ago, staying with UCLA after we thought he was going to recommit.
Well, that's because he tried to pull a trick on us.
Yeah.
He tried to pull a trick on us.
We see that a lot with a lot of these recruits.
Mr.
now.
Gummy Bear Man, it's not Skittles anymore. We don't have Marshawn Lynch. We have the Gummy Bear Man. That's what we've named him. He loves his gummy bears, and we're going to finally get him on a video feed. And I've been looking forward to having him on. I think he's going to really have a lot of fun with us. Guys, this guy has a tremendous personality.
Oh, he does. He seemed very excited when I was talking to him earlier. Really, really excited.
You guys are going to love his personality. We love his personality. He's one of my faves, and I'm a huge fan of his, and he's been following us all over social media, and thank God, as he grows as a UCLA corner with Chip Kelly and that defense, I'm looking forward to watching this kid really prevail and become a superstar player on the college game and then in the NFL. So I'm looking forward to getting him on the show. Anyways, as you guys know, we do this every single Wednesday for Below the Mic. Speedy.
Sports and entertainment news.
Hit it, Speedy. Steelers GM declines to commit to Ben Roethlisberger amid rumors about future. Well, why would he commit to a guy that's 38 years old and really fell apart in the second half of the season? So moving forward, I don't know if Ben Roethlisberger is going to be back next year, Speedy.
Well, he's been hinting at retirement for a while, so it wouldn't surprise me, but I feel like it would have happened already, so I don't know.
Miami Heat interested in trading for Rudy Gay. What do you like about that?
Depth. I mean, it's a good defensive player that Rudy Gay has grown into the last couple of years.
He's a two-way player.
Yeah, he's grown into that, especially last year with the Spurs. He actually was a pleasant surprise for them, and I think in a system like Spoelstra's, he'll definitely be a beneficial player off the bench.
NFL more news. Steelers unlikely to use the franchise tag. Wow. They're not going to use the franchise tag this year?
I'm not surprised considering who's really worth a franchise tag on that team. You're going to pay Juju as a top 5 receiver. You're going to pay James Conner as a top 5 running back. I don't think so.
And Ben Roethlisberger right now, his tag would be worth about $41 million.
Exactly. So I don't think there's anyone really worth it. They already locked up TJ Watt at the beginning of the season. He probably would have been the guy to get it. There's nobody in that secondary worth it. So, yeah.
The Carolina Panthers should be seen as more than a dark horse candidate for Deshaun Watson. Wow. Well, Carolina is a team that is looking for a quarterback. Teddy Bridgewater is not the future of that organization. I do believe they're going to be drafting a quarterback where they're drafting in the top 5. But it's going to be an interesting offseason of where Deshaun Watson goes, if he goes anywhere. The Texans have come out and said, Speedy, that he's going nowhere.
Well, the Panthers are interesting if they do well in free agency regarding fixing their defense. If they can get some pass rush help, they definitely need secondary help for sure. Even though Dante Jackson did have a nice year last year as a young corner, they need a lot more because they're losing a lot, and they just cut Kawan Short as well, who was a big part of that defensive team for a long time. So if they could do well with that, maybe they have leverage. Otherwise, they need to spend those draft picks on defense.
I don't like that you shaved and you shaved like that. But anyways, Alex Smith.
As someone who complained about my beard for like 3 weeks, but okay.
I told you to clean it up. You look better with a beard, but clean it up. Alex Smith feels he has a lot of room for growth on the field for 2020 comeback. What do you think about that?
Let's hope so. His story was already inspiring as it is. I'd love to see it grow more.
How about this? Steelers unsure if they can afford to bring back Bud Dupree. I don't think they're going to.
That's going to be tough if they can't bring him back. As you saw in the second half of the season when he was hurt, not that he's an elite pass rusher, but he's still an impact pass rusher. But J.J. Watt's more of an interior type
you
pass
can get
rusher
him on a
3-4 defense. I think the Steelers need more of that speed rusher type if they can't get him. And when T.J. Watt was being double-teamed a lot in the second half of the season, you could see the difference in that defense because, as I mentioned before, their secondary is not very good outside of Minka.
Rob Nikovich explains how Bill Belichick cleverly used Tom Brady in contract negotiations. Well, yeah, I'm not surprised. Right. I'm not.
We've said that all the time. He deliberately has taken pay cuts.
Nope. NBA rumors and news. How will Danny Ainge fix the Boston Celtics' unacceptable performance? Well, very simple. Find a big man, which they've been looking for the last 5 years. Andre Drummond is a big name. Give up a first-round draft pick. You get your big man that you've needed for years, and then you can compete in the Eastern Conference. That would make sense, wouldn't it?
Yes, it would. They also need some more depth scoring, which we thought was a big strength for them, but they have had trouble with this year, too.
Many NBA players hesitant to promote coronavirus vaccine. Why is that, Speedy?
I promote it as maybe they want to get other people. Yeah, maybe other people to get it first. Maybe that would be my guess over the players. I don't know.
It's dangerous. I think you don't know what to expect with the vaccine, so of course you're going to be afraid to take it. The Zion Williamson takeover is here. Zion Williamson is playing great basketball right now. He's one of the best young players, young stars in the NBA. Everybody that said this guy wasn't going to succeed in the NBA, that's what I'm going to say about that. I told everybody, including Matty Caps,
that was the main guy,
that this guy was going to be a superstar in the league, and you're seeing it right in front of our eyes. The guy's averaging 25 points a game in his second year of the NBA. He's fantastic.
Vinny Rubo continues to salivate over him.
Julius Randle has become the player he was always meant to be. I agree. I really do. He's really become a superstar with the New York Knicks. Maybe it's Payne, the Kentucky coach, but he's been fantastic for the New York Knicks. Do the Knicks re-sign him in 2 years? I think they have him for one more year. Yep. Do they extend him? I think they have to right now. How could you take away a superstar player that's averaging about 25 points a game, averaging almost 10 rebounds a game, and giving you 6 assists a game? He's one of the best players right now in the NBA. You can't get rid of him.
Yeah, finally showing his number 7 overall pick draft stock. I was never really high on him in the draft, but he's finally playing like what he was supposed to. This is easily the best year of his career.
MLB rumors. 5 free agent starters Mets could still target. There's a lot of them. There really is.
Yeah,
I don't know why the Mets need to look for another starter. I really don't.
A depth maybe as a cautionary thing with injury because Syndergaard's just coming back. He's been notoriously injury prone. Carrasco's had as he's gotten older, he's been in and out with injury issues too, and obviously he had to leave because he had leukemia too. So we don't know what to expect with them. And again,
could you just get to your point? Could you stop driving it?
And again,
Nolan, I'm done with you.
Okay,
Nolan Arenado unlikely to use his opt-out. I plan to be a Cardinal for life. Well, I do believe he's not going to opt out of the contract. It's a very good contract. He's not going to get any more than what he got. I'll tell you this, from any team, especially the way COVID-19 has affected the free agent market. So he will stay Cardinal. Jake Arrieta deal with the Cubs, including a mutual option for 2022. Speedy.
They're not going to pitch well in 2022, so I don't know how much that'll work.
NHL rumors and news. Still no talks between Oilers for Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. What do you think?
Well, he's underwhelmed in most of his career so far, considering what he's supposed to be.
He's a good player.
He's a decent player. I'm not going to say he's not, but for what he was supposed to be, he has kind of underwhelmed. But he is a good face-off guy. Now, the question is, could they trade him for some defensive help or goaltending help? Because that's what they really need.
Taylor Hall. Slow start with Sabres. It's been a struggle for him. Well, I will say this. $8 million deal, 1 year, $8 million deal was a lot of money. I really thought that Taylor Hall should have waited a little while. He could have went to the Islanders. He probably would have gotten less, but he would have went to a better team. The Islanders are playing fantastic hockey right now, and they're right now the team to beat right now in that division.
Yeah, they went from all of a sudden, I think they were, 6th over the weekend in the division?
They were last.
I don't know if they were last, but they were
last.
They were last at some points during the season. I'm talking about last weekend, they were 6th, and now they're 2nd.
Well, they won 4 games in a row, and they're only 2 points behind the leader right now, the Boston Bruins. Yep. So it's huge right now with the way the Islanders playing. Defense wins championships. That's something that the Rangers need to figure out. That's for sure.
Especially now with Jacob Trouba is going to be out 4 to 6 weeks too with a broken finger.
They're screwed now. And final thing, Devils place. Eric Comrie and defenseman Connor Carrick on waivers. What do you think?
Well, Carrick really didn't play much for them after they got traded. I think he was part of the Subban trade.
Comrie's a good player.
Yeah, Comrie's a good player. It's interesting that they would put him on waivers, but I guess Blackwood's played well enough where they could trust him. The thing is, Blackwood's also had a lot of injury issues so far this season too. So that's why he's been in and out. And when the Devils were really struggling is when Blackwood was out.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is sports and entertainment news. Welcome to everybody. Welcome to the world of CJ DeSimone. What's going on, buddy?
Yeah.
Yes. All right. So I really wanted to get into this, and I know I asked Speedy to get me videos before the show. He couldn't put it together, but I really wanted to get into this quarterback draft that everybody talks about. They're saying that next year's draft is not a quarterback draft, and that if you're looking to get a quarterback in this year's draft, you have to make a move either before the draft or during the draft to get maybe a Trey Lance, Zach Wilson, or obviously a Justin Fields. Everybody knows that Trevor Lawrence is going number one. So I really wanted to get into this back and forth banter on what should the Jets do moving forward with their quarterback distribution and not distribution. I'm sorry, display. No, dilemma, display, whatever. I look at Sam Darnold right now, and I know a lot of people are upset and they don't know what to do with Sam Darnold. And you're bringing in a new coach in Robert Saleh. You're bringing a new offensive coordinator in Mike LaFleur. And everybody talks about the way everybody describes Mike LaFleur as the next up-and-coming offensive big-time superstar. That's what everybody says about him. He's the next big offensive coordinator that is going to be a coach in the NFL in the very near future. But this guy's never been an offensive coordinator. He was a wide receiver coach for Kyle Shanahan. Everybody's talking about him. Now, he is taking over for the New York Jets. And I'm looking at Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold has never had a good offensive coordinator. A matter of fact, his first year as an offensive coordinator for Todd Bowles, you know who he had? He had a rookie offensive coordinator in Bates, okay? Did anybody think that Bates was going to be a good offensive coordinator in the NFL?
Sent Sam Darnold to the Bates Motel.
Well, Bates was there for really 1.5 years. A half a year, whatever you want to call it. Bates didn't work out, okay? Then Todd Bowles got fired. Then you bring in Adam Gase, and Adam Gase, cuckoo eyes, whatever you want to call him, what you want to call him, he brought in his offensive mind, even though everybody knew he was going to be the offensive coordinator. And then he brings his defensive-minded coach, Greg Williams. Well, he didn't really bring him in. The Jets brought him in. And McCagnon brought him in, and it just didn't work out over there. But going back into this, you look at Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold has really never gotten the right treatment as a quarterback here in New York. They've never put the right players around him. They've never put the right wide receivers around him. Denzel Mims missed almost 5 games this year, having his hamstring problems on both his legs. And then Jamison Crowder, even though he played sensational in the beginning of the season, he was fighting injury later in the season. And Herndon really didn't step up or wake up until the end of the season, the last 4 games of the season. Maybe he was getting into another car accident, or maybe he was drinking. Who knows what he was doing? And they couldn't run the ball. They had a 38-year-old running back in Frank Gore when they drafted LaMichael Piron. You look at the Jets right now, and honestly, why would you give up on a quarterback that has a lot left? He's 23 years old. He's still amongst the league's youngest starting quarterbacks in the NFL. Starting in the season, he was the 3rd youngest quarterback in the NFL. He was younger than quarterbacks that were drafted last year. You argue your points on what should the Jets do. Should they draft and go after a Zach Wilson? Should they go after a Justin Fields? Should they trade down and then add more draft picks to their total of 6 first 4-round draft picks? I don't know what the Jets are planning to do. I don't know what a guy like Joe Douglas is thinking about doing. And I know Carl's saying, Jesus, Sam Darnold talking, because it's a big story here in New York. It is a huge story right now. Because right now, when you're looking at the New York Jets and where should the Jets go at the quarterback position, should they give up? Should they give up that second pick and draft a quarterback like Zach Wilson or Justin Fields or even Trey Lance? Or should they draft an offensive lineman? Should they trade down and get a wide receiver at number 6 or 7? And this is a story right now, and you can say, but every show, it is an important subject right now here in New York, because right now you're talking about where are they going to trade him? What are they going to do with Sam Darnold? And it's all over the newspapers, and people want to hear this, Carl. So if you don't want to listen, pop it off. Sam Darnold right now is a quarterback that has had so many disadvantages as a quarterback in the NFL. Mitchell Trubisky has had a lot of disadvantages with the Chicago Bears. Okay? They never built around the offensive line when they brought Mitch in. They had Allen Robinson. They made the trade. They brought Allen Robinson in, or they signed him from Jacksonville. Okay? And he's a great wide receiver. What else have they put around Mitchell Trubisky where he has been successful? Nothing. Now they're talking about, Chicago's talking about moving away from him and bringing in a Carson Wentz, another guy that's underachieved since he's come in the NFL.
Badly overpaid.
My argument here, and reason why I'm bringing up Sam Darnold, is Sam Darnold, even when you look at Mitch Trubisky had a top 5 wide receiver this year. A top 5 wide receiver. Tell me when Sam Darnold had a top 10 wide receiver on his team. How about this? Tell me when Sam Darnold had a top 15 wide receiver on his team. The answer is never. Never. And that's why I'm bringing this up again. As a Jet fan and as a person that sticks up for Sam Darnold, I don't know what to do with him. I don't. But when you look at Zach Wilson and you look at Justin Fields, this is why I wanted to bring up this subject, because the Jets are going to be drafting at number 2. Should they trade out of the pick? Should they trade with the Carolina Panthers and try, if Carolina wants a Zach Wilson or Justin Fields, because Justin Fields can run a 4.3 or a 4.4. He's one of the fastest quarterbacks we've seen come out since Lamar Jackson. He's a lot bigger, he's a lot stronger, and he's a lot more accurate than a Lamar Jackson. Should the Jets trade out of that pick to land a wide receiver at number 5 and add on to that draft stock that they have?
Panthers are number 8.
I'm sorry, number 8. Or what they could do is they could draft at number 2, draft the offensive lineman that they want, or draft a pass rusher, even though there's not a lot of pass rushers in this year's draft. Maybe the best thing the Jets should do is they got to decide, do you want the offensive lineman or do you want the quarterback?
Yeah, this draft is not really for the pass rush. I think the pass rush is something they're going to have to focus on in free agency if that's the best case scenario for them. They have other needs with receivers, with corners that are much more plentiful in this year's draft. And like you said, offensive linemen. You have to have the right offer in order to trade back. You can't just trade back just to trade back and get a couple more picks. You got to hope that the 49ers or the Panthers or somebody really wants Fields or really wants Wilson will give you that great package in order for you to trade back, because there is a lot of depth where they could build. I think if they were to draft a pass rusher, it'd probably be in the second round more than anything else. I've always been in the boat of just take Fields, because I think taking Fields because I think he's just that good, and I think he will be that good. I think he could be as good as Deshaun Watson, if not maybe even better. Who knows? He's really that talented. So it depends on what they get with free agency first, though. If they could solve the pass rush issues of free agency and maybe get another big name receiver, I would say either draft the quarterback or try to trade back. But I would most likely trade back only if you get the big offer.
Now, you look at this season, and I know it was a short season, and you're looking at how many games these teams played and how many games that both these quarterbacks played. And I'm comparing and contrasting Zach Wilson's season to Justin Fields. Now, Justin Fields played 6 games this year. 6 games, and then he had the playoff run all the way to the national title. He had 2,100 yards, 22 touchdowns to 6 interceptions. Zach Wilson, who plays in a much easier division, played, I think, 11 or 12 games this year.
Yeah, and again, the thing with Zach Wilson, though, is remember, they didn't know who they were playing a lot of the time. They had to travel a lot of different places, so that's a lot of credit to him for him playing well in those circumstances, too.
Zach Wilson had 3,692 yards, 33 touchdowns, and 3 interceptions, which he was third in all of college football with 33 touchdowns. Now, I know a lot of Jet fans and a lot of people think that when you look at the big picture, Zach Wilson fits this Kyle Shanahan offense. And if San Francisco was even higher than 12, Zach Wilson is as good as the San Francisco 49er. Now, when you look at number 12 and San Francisco drafting at number 12, do the Jets trade with the San Francisco 49ers and give them the number 2 pick. They get the 12th pick, and they stock up. They get a second-round pick this year, and they get next year's first-round pick from San Francisco. Would you do that, Speedy?
It has to be a really aggressive trade because you're trading very far back where it's going to be hard to get that top-notch guy. I think both receivers are going to be gone at that point, both Smith and Chase at that point. You might be able to land a good corner with that pick. Like I said, I like J.C. Horn, Caleb Farley, who dropped out of the season from Virginia Tech is nice. There's a lot of, maybe that's where they go.
Wide receiver. Why not go for their wide receiver that they want at number 12? They still have the 23rd pick. They could still get their running back. They build around Sam Darnold. That's the way I look at it. And then you stock up. Then next year you have 3 first-round draft picks where you can decide and contrast. If there's a quarterback that becomes available, a Deshaun Watson that becomes available before the season starts, you make the trade. You give up 2 of those 3 first-round draft picks next year and 2 second rounds and 2 defensive players and get Deshaun Watson.
See, the only way I think if they do that trade, the only way I think they would take a receiver at 12 is if it's a number 2, like a good number 2 type prospect receiver, if they get an Allen Robinson in free agency. But again, that's
Eric Waddle. I mean, he's going to be
Jalen Waddle.
Jalen Waddle, who's going to be sitting there right now. Maybe Pitts is sitting there at number 12. He might fall out of the top 10. So you could get the tight end / wide receiver that you've been, really wanting. And they're talking about him being the next George Kittle.
I could see that too, because he is very fast and he can line up pretty much anywhere. The thing is with Pitts, he also had some injury concerns though too. So I don't know.
It doesn't matter. What I'm trying to say is if the Jets are not sure, if they're sure that they can fix Sam Darnold, okay, as of right now, and Deshaun Watson doesn't become available, the Texans say, we're not trading him. We're not moving on from him. We're going to hold on to him, and we're going to see what happens when OTAs open up for him. And if he doesn't show up, then they know he's not going to play this year, and then they're going to have to decide what they're going to do with him. Are they going to move on from him? And if they do, then the Jets look at it this way. You still have your quarterback right now. You still have Sam Darnold that you can build your team around. You stock up. You get the number 12 pick. You still have the 23rd. You can get San Francisco second round, maybe their 4th round this year, and they get their 1st round next year. I think moving up from 12 to 2 over there, that should be enough to make that move. They get Zach Wilson. They get the wide receiver, a tight end that can fit their position moving forward. They don't have to bring in a free agent wide receiver. They're saving money, Speedy. That's what I'm saying. And then they stock up. Then if Watson becomes available before the season starts, well, then you decide what you want to do with Sam. Maybe you make Sam your backup quarterback for this year, and then you can move on from him at the end of the season. You bring in Deshaun Watson. You give up 2 of the first-round draft picks next year, and then stock up. And you've stocked up. You've added all these draft players. Then you have this year. You would have 2 second-round draft picks, 2 third-round draft picks, 3 fourth-round draft picks, and 1 fifth.
I would try to trade for more than 2 first-round picks if I were trying to go that far back with the 49ers. I think I would try to push.
You are getting 2 first-round draft picks. You're getting their 12th, and you're getting their first-round draft pick next year.
I would try to push for 3. And if
you're crazy,
go that far back, yeah,
you're crazy.
It's the number 2 pick. It is very valuable, especially in this kind of year with Fields and with Wilson being as highly profiled as they are.
And I'm listening to what CJ's saying. Sam will not be here point blank this next year. That's not what I'm hearing, bud. That's not what I'm hearing. The Jets still like Sam Darnold. Joe Douglas still likes Sam Darnold. And Sam has never had the right players, the right coaches around him. And a lot of people are saying that he's not going to be here. He's not going to be here. How do you know he's not going to be here? Are you a part of the organization? Do you know what Joe Douglas is thinking right now? Because nobody knows. I don't even think Robert Saleh knows if Sam Darnold's going to be the quarterback of the future for the New York Jets, because he even said it. Sam is going to get all the opportunities to succeed if he's here or if he's not. So I don't even think Robert Saleh knows that Sam Darnold's going to be here.
Carl says, trade Darnold for Jimmy G and a 1st-round pick. Would you want to take on that contract?
No. Sam Darnold for Jimmy G and a 1st-round pick? No. Jimmy G, I don't know what Sam Darnold is yet. But I can honestly believe that I think Sam Darnold is a better quarterback than Jimmy Garoppolo. Jimmy Garoppolo can't stay healthy. That's the problem with Jimmy G. And Sam Darnold hasn't had the right players around him to succeed. He hasn't had a running game. Let's be honest. Who's run for him in the last couple of years? Oh, I'm sorry. He had Frank Gore, the 38-year-old old man. Yes, he's a Hall of Famer. He's an old man. He has had no explosive players. Jamison Crowder's a great slot receiver. That's the only explosive players he's had for the last 3 seasons. So where? How could it? And by the way, CJ says, then commit to him and stop the speculations.
There's always going to be speculation until the draft.
There's always going to be speculations because Deshaun Watson's name is still out there. Russell Wilson's name is still out there.
Not to mention, you have a number 2 pick. That is a powerful pick for a quarterback class that's supposed to be phenomenal.
It starts with the Jets pick because everybody knows Trevor Lawrence is going 1.
Right.
So the Jets can daggle that pick around and get whoever they want. They really could.
And they're going to be as patient as they can with it because they know it's that highly touted. And we don't know what these other teams are going to have in terms of quarterback situations. We only talked about the Panthers and the 49ers, who we've also heard the Broncos. We've heard Atlanta mixed in because Fields is from Georgia. Maybe they go up and get him. There's a lot of other teams that could be very sneaky. Maybe Detroit does it, even though they just traded for Goff. Maybe if they love Fields that much and then they try to move Goff for another pick.
The reason why I brought this up, and this is why I'm saying this. The Jets are holding the number 2 pick, okay? If you think you can hold on to Sam Darnold, you can move out of that pick and trade. San Francisco would do anything for Zach Wilson. They will do anything because Zach Wilson could be the reason why they can win a Super Bowl next year. Because Zach Wilson fits like a glove. They're ready to win now. They have a great defense. They have Nick Bosa coming back, a highly touted defense, and they have a good offensive line. They have a great running game, okay? And they have one of the most electrifying tight ends in football, okay, that can catch anything. Zach Wilson can make every single throw in that offense, move inside and out of the pocket. He fits like a glove for Kyle Shanahan. If Kyle Shanahan is willing to give up their 12th pick, their 2nd pick this year, and their 4th pick this year, and next year's 1st round pick, I would make that move. I would make that move because then the Jets have an overstock of 1st round picks next year, 3 of them to be exact, where if anybody becomes available in free agency, I mean, not in free agency, in next year's offseason, like a Russell Wilson, he can't stand Seattle, he wants out. Okay? He wants out. Or Deshaun Watson definitely wants out if he stays there for 1 more year. Or maybe Deshaun Watson doesn't show up to OTAs this year, and you know what? They got to move on from him. So you know what the Jets have? The Jets have 3 first-round picks to daggle around to get what they want. They can land Deshaun Watson. They still have an overstock of players that they drafted this year and next year. I mean, the Jets are set up very, very well.
Yeah, the Jets easily have the most power no matter what in terms of the deciding factors of the draft and deciding factors of these young players. The question is, again, who's going to make the most aggressive trade because that's still going to be what's going to come first. And the 49ers are good to look at because we've seen John Lynch be very aggressive with both trades and big contracts, sometimes to a point where he becomes reckless and doesn't make the right decisions all the time. But I think that's the team to definitely look at if they can make the aggressive trade. Again, you still have to be wary of you're not getting a top 10 pick if you do that, unless you want to try to trade up later in the draft too. And that's another thing that could be interesting too. Maybe a 3-way trade possibility as well.
I just think right now with the Jets and where they are and where they're positioned, if they think any possible way that they can save Sam Darnold, they can keep moving on with Sam Darnold for just this season. Because remember, they have to extend that 5th year to Sam Darnold at the end of this year. Or they could do this. They can extend the 5th year next year and then trade him. And then get a 2nd or a 3rd round pick, or maybe if he has a good season, or he starts the season, if Deshaun Watson becomes available, you still make the trade for Deshaun Watson. You keep Sam Darnold on this roster, and then you move on. He's had a good season, a good half a season. You put him on the bench, and then you trade him next year when in the open market.
Yeah, that's definitely an idea if they don't have to move him in the trade, because everything we've heard is that Sam Darnold's been rumored to be in the trade for Deshaun Watson. But yeah, if that ends up happening, and maybe the Jets are.
And Carl's saying, by the way, Carl's saying Watson is not going to the Jets. That's not what the big one of their big time beat writers have said in Houston. Houston, I forget the beat writer, and Speedy, you can look it up for me. It was on a New York, one of our New York stations. I think it was Greg Giannotti that said that if Deshaun Watson gets traded, the only team he can really decide to think that has enough to get Deshaun Watson is the New York Jets. So to say that there's no way Deshaun Watson is going to the Jets, Deshaun Watson wants out from the Texans, okay? He wants out. So if it gets him out of Houston, he'll go to the Jets. He absolutely will, because the Jets are right now, they have an overstock of money. They have an overstock of draft picks. They could do anything. They can daggle that second pick and do whatever they want with it. Anything they want with it.
John McClain is his name.
John McClain came out and said that if Deshaun Watson gets traded, the only team that's going to get him is the New York Jets. That's what he said. So John McClain, who's one of the most known beat writers in Houston, stating that the Jets have the best chance of getting him, why wouldn't he go to the Jets?
Now, CJ says earlier, Watson is either going to the Jets or he's sitting out. Book it. He's only going to sit out, I think, if he stays with the Texans. If he goes anywhere, he'll just play.
I don't know where he's going. I have no idea where Deshaun Watson wants to go. But remember, he has that no trade clause.
Right.
So he's got to agree to it. Right. If he doesn't agree to it, he's not going anywhere.
Yeah, that's why I don't know if Deshaun Watson is being that stingy, but yeah, I think he's not going to sit out if he gets traded somewhere else instantly. He's just going to sit out against the Texans because that's the ownership he's annoyed at.
And by the way, Carl, I didn't say that I know him. I'm saying that he's the most known beat writer in Houston. I don't live in Houston. So he's making a joke. Well, if he's so known, why did you remember his name? I don't know him. Okay. I'm just telling you what they said. By the way, Brian Quattrini, let's go Islanders. Absolutely.
Hey,
absolutely.
Brian Quattrini.
Q, man. I haven't seen him in a while, man. Yeah. I love him. Mm-hmm. I love him. Yes, the Islanders are playing great hockey right now. We'll get into the Islanders in a little while. But back to the New York Jets and what the Jets should do. I'm telling you right now, if I was the Jets and I was running this organization, I will daggle that second pick with anybody. I would do anything. If you are not sure that Zach Wilson or Justin Fields or Trey Lance is your future quarterback, and you still think that you can Sam Darnold could be more than decent this year, and it could be better than we've ever seen Sam Darnold as a starting quarterback for the Jets with the players that you could put around him, then you keep Sam Darnold. Even though next year's draft class is not as good as this year's draft class for quarterbacks, there are going to be quarterbacks that are going to be available in free agency or wanting to be traded next year. Deshaun Watson is not going to want to be with the Houston Texans. Yeah. He's not. He wants out. He's not staying there for another 4 years. He's not. So next year it'll be coming out that he wants to be traded again.
And who says this is not a problem that's going to carry over to another quarterback? I mean, the Texans' former players, a lot of them, Andre Johnson, Arian Foster, DeMeco Ryans, guys like that have mentioned their distaste for the organization. Who says another quarterback won't go there and say, I want out of this dysfunctional mess?
I don't know where Deshaun Watson is going. He's going to go somewhere. I just don't know where. I mean, we've been hearing the Broncos, San Francisco. San Francisco doesn't have enough to get him. They don't have enough to get him. They're going to have to give away practically the next 3 years of their draft stock to get somebody like Deshaun Watson. They don't have high enough picks to get him.
Carl says, if you are the Jets, would you let the Bears sign Allen Robinson to franchise tag him and then trade for him? Ooh, that's an interesting dilemma.
I don't want Allen Robinson if he doesn't fit the offense. As good as Allen Robinson is, and I love Allen Robinson, I think he's the best wide receiver that's going to be available in this year's offseason in free agency. He might not fit the offense. So why would we bring in Allen Robinson? We've seen so many players the Jets have brought in over the years, Santonio Holmes being one of them, who just didn't fit the offense. He fit like a glove for the Pittsburgh Steelers. He didn't fit like a glove for the New York Jets.
Braylon Edwards, Brandon Marshall.
Well, Eric Decker played well for the
first
Jets.
year. The first year.
No, 2 years. The first 2 years.
No, the second year he got hurt, remember?
Yeah, but he still played well. He still played well. He had like 600, 700 yards in the games that he played. Eric Decker still played well his second year.
I'm just saying, like, they don't have a great track record in terms of long-term with free agent receivers that are still generally, I wouldn't say super young, but generally still somewhat in their prime when they get them.
And plus, Allen Robinson's going to be expensive. And I don't know if the Jets are willing. Joe Douglas, did anybody watch what Joe Douglas did last year? He brought an offensive lineman on the cheap. He brought McGovern in. He got a center for a 3-year contract, which he can actually opt out after the second year from McGovern. And he brought in George Font, on a 3-year deal where he can opt out after the first year, which you'll probably keep him because he got him on the cheap. You can move George Font to the guard position where he fits better.
Way better.
You can draft a right tackle in the second round, the right tackle or left tackle for the Alabama Crimson Tide that I told
Leatherwood.
you about. Leatherwood over there on the other side of Mekhi Beckham, and you solidified your offensive line. Maybe you bring in Tooney, maybe not.
The 2 tackles from Texas A&M are other names to look at too. Both of them are going to be probably late first, early second round prospects too. That the Jets could get at a good value either with the Seattle pick or even their own second.
That's why I'm bringing up the Jets, and it's not about this. This segment is not about the Jets. This segment is about Justin Fields and Zach Wilson. Okay, because if you look at Zach Wilson right now and you look at Justin Fields, who would you want? Who would you want? Now, I know you want Justin Fields because of his speed, his size, his accuracy, and a lot of people think that he is just as good or maybe even better than Trevor Lawrence when he gets his feet under him in the NFL. But Justin Fields, remember, when he decided to go to Georgia, he didn't win the job. He didn't win the job from a backup quarterback, a third-string quarterback now that's in the NFL. He didn't win the job. That he had to decide to go to Ohio State. Speedy, you can make any excuse. He didn't win the job.
I would just say those are very rare circumstances.
Doesn't matter
what Jake Fromm did that year, and they were winning, so they're not going to stop what they're going with.
And he decided to go to Ohio State, and he went to a national title game in 6 games. So
that's fair, but again, at the time, you're not thinking, all right, yeah, we made it to a national championship game that we should have won. All of a sudden, we're going to change quarterbacks now.
My question for all you guys is, what do the Jets do? What do the Jets do? What does the Carolina Panthers do? What are these teams that need quarterbacks do? Does New England move up in the draft to get the quarterback of the future for their organization?
That's very unlike him. I think that's very rare. I think what Jeff has been mentioning to us, I think is a lot more likely.
Trey Lance?
Trey Lance.
I think Trey Lance might be drafted in the top 10.
It depends. Like I said, how many teams do well with free
They're talking
agency.
about possibly 4 quarterbacks going in the first 4 picks.
That's going to be hard to come by because
it's never happened before.
It's never happened before. And also, again, how many teams are going to be able to say, all right, we supplemented our holes enough in free agency to be able to do that. A lot of the teams that are picking early are cash strapped. Atlanta's very cash strapped. The Lions are very cash strapped, where they're one of those teams that they're those teams you could say, all right, they might take a quarterback, but they don't have to necessarily pull the trigger. And then the Panthers and a team like the Panthers, the Broncos, they're in the same boat. They need a lot of defense. So if they do well with free agency with defense, then maybe they do. But again, it's still a lot of ifs. So I don't know about 4 and 4.
And I'm looking over here what Carl is saying. You said a few weeks ago that Fields outplayed Lawrence, and who is to say he couldn't be the number 1 pick? He's not going number 1 because the only team that went for Trevor Lawrence workouts was the Jaguars. They were the only team that showed up to the workouts.
Right.
They were the only team. No, not the Jets, not the Miami Dolphins. Nobody but the only team that asked him to work out before his shoulder surgery was the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Right, which seems inevitable at this point. I mean, teams will delay it all they want and say they're not
He's
going to take
one.
him.
Unless he gets into a car accident.
He's going 1, I would say 99.9. It's as sure of a thing. Even more sure than the Bengals last year taking Burrow.
Now, do I think that Justin Fields could be just as good or even better than Trevor Lawrence? Absolutely. I could see Zach Wilson being better than
I like
Trevor
Zach
Lawrence.
Wilson. I don't know about better than Trevor Lawrence.
Who knows? Why not? I mean, you heard Joe Theismann come on at CBS Sports and said that out of all the big quarterbacks in this year's draft class, he would take Zach Wilson because of his accuracy and his leadership. That's who he would take. He doesn't know that Trevor Lawrence, because of the hype and all the pressure on him, is going to survive all the hype over there in Jacksonville. And then all of a sudden, you talk about Justin Fields. Justin Fields couldn't cut it over there in Georgia, so he had to go to Ohio State to cut it, and he couldn't win the big game.
But again, those are very rare circumstances, so I don't know about that. He still has the coaching, and he still is there with the program, a very good program for Georgia that he learned from too, kind of like what you saw with Burrow with Ohio State, then LSU. So he ended up learning that way. He had a great year and ended up being the number 1 pick. Fields kind of in that same boat with more talent.
John Ferris says Lawrence 1, Wilson 2. That's what he says. It's so interesting. And we've talked about this even when Sam Darnold's draft class came out. And right. we saw Baker Mayfield, Josh Rosen, Lamar Jackson, Sam Darnold, Josh Allen, who, now 3-4 years later, where do we rate them? We all picked Sam Darnold to be the best quarterback in that class. Now, when you rate the quarterback class, you would put Josh Allen 1, Lamar Jackson 2, Baker Mayfield 3, Sam Darnold 4, Josh Rosen 5. Who would have thought that? So now you're looking at this draft class, and you got 5 legitimate quarterbacks in this class. And who are they? You have Trevor Lawrence, Zach Wilson, Trey Lance, Justin Fields, and the quarterback from Alabama, Mac Jones. You've got 5 quarterbacks now, and Mac Jones is estimated to be a first-round talent in this year's draft class.
And don't forget about CJ's boy, Kyle Trask.
He's not going in the first round.
I don't think so either.
He's falling in the second or third round. But those are the 5 quarterbacks that are going to go in the first round this year. So where do we rate them? Where will they be ranked in 4 years from now? Where would you rank them in the next 4 years in the NFL?
Well, again, situation dependent, obviously, but talent-wise, I would have Lawrence, close second, Fields, another not as big of a gap, but still a gap, Wilson after that. Then a pretty big gap, Lance and Jones, who I think will be a little more of a project.
Right now, I'm going to say Justin Fields 1.
Ooh.
I think Justin Fields is going to be the best quarterback in this class. And anybody can think I'm crazy. I think Justin Fields will be the best quarterback in this class. He can run, he can throw. If he goes to the right team and the right coach, they're going to develop his skills. A lot of people say the one thing that worries them about his skills, he's got all the intangibles. His what do they say about him? Him seeing the field, using the options on the field. His first throw, he always looks at his first pass and he throws to his first pass. He doesn't look around the field. That's a problem using the objective of the quarterback position in the NFL. You have to use the whole field. Zach Wilson, that's one of Zach Wilson's strengths. Right. That is one of his strengths. And that's one of Trevor Lawrence's strengths. So I think Justin Fields 1, Zach Wilson 2, Trevor Lawrence 3, Trey Lance 4, and the Alabama quarterback number 5.
Wow. You like Wilson that much, huh?
I think what I've seen, the tapes that I've watched, I watched a couple of games, all right? I'm going to be honest with you. I watched 3 games this year for Zach Wilson because when I heard that this guy is, tearing up college football, I had to see, in front of my eyes. And I watched him in the ball game. He had 5 touchdowns, dominated the game against a team that should have been a top 10 ranked team.
And they were at the start of the season.
Yeah.
I think they were 17 at the start of the season, but
they fell out of it.
Definitely underwhelmed for sure.
But I look at Justin Fields right now. Justin Fields has every bit of the intangibles that you want as a quarterback. Now, when we look at Deshaun Watson and we look at guys like Mahomes, that draft class, and Mitchell Trubisky was drafted before all of them. It went Mitchell Trubisky, then it went Deshaun Watson, and then it went Mahomes.
No,
right?
Mahomes was
I'm sorry,
10.
Mahomes, then it went Deshaun Watson.
Right.
So you had that. And now where do you look at that order? You look at Mahomes, arguably maybe Mahomes or Deshaun Watson, because I still take Deshaun Watson over Mahomes. Mahomes had a lot to work with over the last couple of years. Who's Deshaun thrown to?
Well, they're not far behind, but I still can't see anyone other than Mahomes number 1.
No, I'm taking Deshaun Watson. I think Deshaun Watson, you put him on the right team. You put Deshaun Watson on that Kansas City team. You don't think they win a Super Bowl?
Tough to tell. We don't know how he is in the
You don't think they're going to win a Super Bowl? Come on, Speedy. Give me a break.
You don't know how a quarterback is.
Give me a break. I don't want to hear it. If Deshaun Watson was on that Kansas City Chiefs team a year ago when they beat San Francisco, not only would they have beaten them, they would have killed them. I think they would have actually been leading going into the fourth quarter. I think Deshaun Watson is a better overall quarterback than Mahomes. I do. I believe that. But that's my opinion. Now, when I look at the draft class this year, I'm taking Justin Fields as my number 1 quarterback. I would take him. I've seen enough of him in the last 2 seasons. Yes, he played for Ohio State. Yes, Ohio State quarterbacks have not achieved anything in the NFL. There's no question. But eventually one of them is. Yeah. And I think Justin Fields is the most talented quarterback we've seen come out of Ohio State in over 15 years.
And he's really the only good pure thrower. Everyone else was a running type, conventional college football type of that time.
Now, by the way, John Ferris says, even if you put Watson on Rams, he will win the Super Bowl. If you put Deshaun Watson on that Kansas City Chiefs team, they might have won this year. They might have won this year because he is in my eyes, he's just as good of seeing the field as Mahomes is. And by the way, he led the league in yards thrown. And who was he throwing the ball to with the Texans? He has an offensive line that's subpar at best. Okay, subpar at best. He had no running game. David Johnson was his starting number one running back. Who was his starting wide receiver?
Brandon
by
Cooks
the way,
and Will Fuller.
And Will Fuller. Will Fuller wasn't even on the field at the end of the season. He missed 4 games because he had steroids. He used steroids,
And then he was hurt for a lot of others. They have literally
Deshaun Watson to nobody.
They literally have the same types of receivers. They have small stick receivers that are overrated and have drop problems.
So when I look at it, I'm putting Fields 1, Wilson 2, Lawrence 3, and then I would put Trey Lance and the Alabama quarterback. Mac, whatever his name
Mac
is.
Jones.
Mac Jones. So I know a lot of people, and this is what this first segment was, is who would I take? Now that we know Trevor Lawrence is going 1, do I take Zach Wilson or Justin Fields? And I think Justin Fields, if he goes to the right team in the right place, Justin Fields is going to flourish in the NFL. I absolutely believe it. Honestly, the safer bet, believe it or not, is Zach Wilson. And the reason why the safer bet is Zach Wilson is because he uses the whole field. He sees the field very well. If you watch the video, you watch the clips, you watch the footage of what Zach Wilson does, he never looks at his first option as the option that he throws to. He always looks at his second and third options before he makes his throws. You don't see that with Justin Fields. That's going to take a little while for him to figure that out, but he's fast as hell. He's fast as hell. He can make every single throw. He's got as good an arm in this draft as Trevor Lawrence and Zach Wilson.
Yeah, and again, the thing with the reading defenses is and trying to get to your first and second options, he actually improved on that during games. I think most of the time when Fields struggled in a game, it was early on, and then he got better. Especially you saw that with the Big Ten championship game when he was really bad in that first half. Northwestern exposed him to an extent, but then he played well in the second half. Last year at times against other good Big Ten teams with Wisconsin and Michigan and not Michigan, Penn State, teams like that. That was when he struggled early, and then he really got it going after that. So I like that element with Fields too. So I don't think it'll be as big of a deal even over Wilson.
I think Fields, I think when you look at Fields and Zach Wilson fits a lot of teams. He really does. Justin Fields, you have to put him on the right team, the right coach, because they're going to have to develop that skill that he is missing, I think is a problem. And you go into the NFL, you don't have that skill, you could have problems early in your career.
But I think we also see teams now and coaches, whether they're the head coach or coordinators, they change their systems as well for certain quarterbacks. We saw Buffalo do that for Josh Allen. We saw the Ravens definitely do that for Lamar Jackson, because remember, they had Flacco before that, who was mobile at times, but a pocket quarterback. So they really had to do some drastic things, and they have to get those concepts in. And I think a team, no matter who drafts Fields, is going to be able to do that because of his mobility, even if they had a pocket quarterback before that. A team like Atlanta definitely comes to mind for that if they draft
I don't think Atlanta's going to draft a quarterback.
I don't think they are either, but I'm saying if they do. Like I said, they're one of the fringe teams. I think they need too much on defense, but if they do, they're going to have to change that system because Matt Ryan's a pocket quarterback. Same thing with Detroit, who had Matthew Stafford for years. If they maybe decide to move on from Jared Goff after a year, or maybe trade him for another pick, then they may have to get a new system for Wilson because he's more mobile, or for Fields.
I can't see the Atlanta Falcons moving away from a guy like Matt Ryan. That's why they brought the offensive coordinator in. I think when you look at where Atlanta is, I still think Atlanta thinks they can win now. They still think that if they add some defensive help in free agency and in the draft, where they could still compete in the division that they're in. Now, I don't know if that's possible, but they still have a lot of offensive weapons. You have Calvin Ridley there. You have Julio Jones, even though he might want out. Maybe they trade him before the draft. Maybe they do that because there'll be a lot of teams interested in him, a.k.a. the New York Jets, looking for a number 1 wide receiver. I don't know if you go after somebody like that because they're going to want at least a second-round draft pick for Julio Jones. But there's a lot of teams that are going to be looking for that. Now, John Ferris says, I'm going to read up what some of these guys say, Panthers or Patriots for Fields. Fields is going in the top 10. He is going in the top 10. I can't see him falling out of the top 10.
Right.
I can see San Francisco moving up. If Deshaun Watson doesn't become available and Jimmy Garoppolo does does become released, and I think he will be released when the trade deadline, the free agent market opens up. I think they're going to release Jimmy Garoppolo. I think Jimmy Garoppolo is on his way to the New England Patriots. It makes a lot of sense. It really does. The Patriots last year, who had 9 starters out for the season because of COVID-19, they decided to sit out. I think the Patriots are going to have a very good season this year, especially in that division. Okay, so don't count out the New England Patriots, and I'm a Jet fan. So, and I think if they add a Jimmy Garoppolo to that team, they could be very, very dangerous in the AFC.
Yeah, the only way that'll happen is if they do end up releasing him or buying him.
That's what I'm saying.
There's no way Belichick's going to take that contract.
No, they're going to release him. That's what I'm hearing. Why do you think that when you hear the San Francisco 49ers are involved with possibly trying to move up for a Zach Wilson or trying to make a trade for Deshaun Watson? Why do you think their names keep popping up, Speedy? Obviously, they want out of Jimmy Garoppolo's contract. Duh. So you think he's going to be still part of that organization by when free agency market opens up? He will be a free agent. He will be somewhere else next year. And I think it's the New England Patriots. The New England Patriots are not going to draft a quarterback. Jimmy Garoppolo is still 30 years old. He still has another 5 good years left in the NFL, in that offense, in Bill Belichick's offense. Remember, Bill Belichick never wanted to trade Jimmy Garoppolo. He never did. The only reason why he did was Robert Kraft and Tom Brady told him that he had to. That's why he did it. He never wanted to trade Jimmy Garoppolo. Now, if Jimmy has an opportunity to come back to win New England is absolutely going to be one of the favorites to coming out of the AFC. They are. Because I know everybody keeps looking at their record this year. They were missing a ton of players. A ton of players.
And they're going to get a lot. They have a lot of money to spend, too. I think they're 7th and something like that.
They're going to spend money. Yeah. Absolutely. And I don't think they're going to re-sign Tooney. I don't. I think they're going to let him go. I think he's going to go to free agency. Yeah. And I think a team like the Jets is going to scoop him up because he would fit like a glove, and especially in Joe Douglas, who likes to build around the trenches. But I'm telling you right now, when you look at this draft class, it can go either way. And you don't know what quarterback is going to turn out to be great in this quarter. What scares me about Trevor Lawrence is what we saw against Ohio State. The Ohio State Buckeyes were not a good defensive team. Okay, they were a decent defensive team. They weren't an elite defensive team. They weren't Alabama. Do you know what Alabama would have done to them in a national title game? They would have destroyed them. Trevor Lawrence would have been eaten up. He would have been embarrassed in the national title game. And he got embarrassed against Ohio State Buckeyes, which got embarrassed by Alabama. I'm telling you right now, and this is coming from me, and I love Trevor Lawrence. I think Trevor Lawrence is still going to be a good quarterback in this league. Generational, elite, I don't know. He's not Andrew Luck. I'm sorry, he's not. He's not Andrew Luck. He's just not. Andrew Luck showed me a lot of things, being that he played for Indianapolis with no offensive line. Trevor Lawrence is going to a team that doesn't have an offensive line. Let's see what he does his first year. We saw what Andrew Luck did his first year. Andrew Luck played well his first year with a bad offensive line.
Oh, yeah.
And by the way, had T.Y. Hilton, and that's it.
Yeah, T.Y. Hilton was a rookie that year too. Same draft.
So I'm telling you right now, when you're looking at, and I'm not, John Ferris says, I don't like Lawrence. I call him the surfer dude, LOL. And that's fine. You could call him a surfer dude. I still think he's going to be a good quarterback. I still think I don't know about elite. I don't know why everybody keeps saying he's a generational quarterback. What I saw in about 9 games, in the big games, Justin Fields in both games that he played against Justin Fields outplayed him. Go look at both games. Even the game that he beat Justin Fields the year before in the ball game. Justin Fields played better than Trevor Lawrence. Not by much, but he did.
But again, we go back to the standard of stop using one game to judge a prospect, too, because you said
I'm not. I'm judging him by 2 games against the 2 quarterbacks that played against one another, that are being compared with one another. And if I look at both games and I compare and contrast both players, I'm taking Justin Fields. It's 2 games, Speedy, not 1.
Okay, I'm just saying, you did the same thing with Quinnen Williams, too, and you didn't like him, and now look what he's done with the Jets.
Well, hold on one second. First of all, he's been fantastic for 1 year. And I didn't say I didn't like him. I said I wouldn't have taken him at number 3. I would have taken Josh Allen. That's what I would have taken at 3. Now, I could be wrong. I never said I didn't like Quinn Williams.
You were down on him for what a lot of people.
Yeah, because I don't know in that kind of defense, in the 3-4 defense, if he was going to succeed, a.k.a. Leonard Williams. And look, he went to a 4-3 defense, which I said when he does, he was going to be an elite pass rusher. What was he this year? He was an elite pass rusher. I told you that. And Quinn Williams in a 4-3 defense, he's going to be even better than that.
I think so too. Yeah,
he is going to be unstoppable in a 4-3 defense. Unstoppable. I'm telling you right now, the Jets. Quinn Williams missed the last 4 games of the season or 3 games of the season. Quinn Williams had 7.5 sacks. Quinn Williams is going to have 14, 15 sacks this year in his defense.
I can say that. Yeah,
he is going to be dominant. He is going to be hard to stop in a 4-3 spread. But I'm telling you, when I look at the big picture right now, and we're trying to compare and contrast what quarterback your franchise needs or if your franchise wants. As a Jet fan, I'm kind of questioning if we should keep Sam Darnold. I really am, because how much better is Zach Wilson going to be in his rookie season than Sam Darnold?
Now, the other thing with that is how long do you wait on that kind of decision, too? Because CJ
I think they already know the decision.
I think they already know. They need to see how these other trade packages are going to be, because we talked about the dilemmas of do you trade back or not. If you get an overwhelming offer from a Carolina Panthers team or Detroit or Atlanta or something like that,
Detroit's not going to get.
I don't think so either.
I'm
just throwing hypotheticals. I'm just saying teams that could give up if they really, really like
CJ doesn't, and by the way, and I'm sorry I'm cutting you off. CJ doesn't like Sam Darnold, and that's why he says nope. But here's the thing. CJ, your guys on your show came out, and one of your guys, very well-known guy that you bring on your show, said that Adam Gase wasn't getting fired. You were wrong about that, because that's not what I heard. And what I'm hearing through the people that I know are part of the Jets organization, the Jets are iffy on getting rid of Sam Darnold because Sam Darnold has never been put in an offense for him to succeed. Okay? So you put the players, you put the offensive linemen around him and the running game around him and the depleted offense that he's had over the last couple of years. How could you say that Sam Darnold can't succeed? He can.
Yeah, again, and the other thing too is this is going to be a value scenario where Sam Darnold is being traded on a down if he is getting traded. So you really have to know at that point whether you're committing to one of these quarterbacks. That's why I don't think it's going to happen within the next month or so. I think it'll happen after these pro days, these virtual pro days that they're going to have with these quarterbacks.
It'll be, if they trade him, it'll be before the draft. Right before the draft.
Yeah. I would imagine that.
It will.
Yeah.
Because you'll know right away. You'll know right away if Deshaun Watson's going to get traded. So, yes, it'll be before the draft. If Deshaun Watson gets traded, it'll be probably a couple of weeks before the draft.
No, I'm not denying that. I'm saying
But that's if they're going after Deshaun Watson, they're going to have to move away from Sam Darnold. So, it will be before the draft. A couple of weeks before the draft. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I said it wasn't going to be right away, is what I said.
Nobody said it was going to be a right away, Speedy.
Okay. So my point is, in terms of them evaluating the rookie quarterbacks, if they like one of them, they will move away.
Spit it out, Speedy.
And also, if they get a trade offer from one of those teams, a team like Carolina or Denver that really wants to trade up and they get 2-3 first-round picks and it's overwhelming, you can't refuse it. You trade Sam Darnold at that point before you take that trade to really up his trade value too.
Here's what I think is going to happen. Joe Douglas is going to have to make a decision if he's going to trade out of that pick. If he decides that he's going to keep that pick, he's probably going to draft a quarterback. If he has made his decision to keep Sam Darnold for one more year, he will move out of that pick. He will move all the way to either 8th or 7th or wherever, Carolina or maybe Atlanta. If Atlanta really, really wants Zach Wilson or really, really wants Justin Fields to be backing up Matt Ryan for a year and then bring him in, that could happen. But I think the Jets will go after a wide receiver then. They'll fall to 8th or 6th or 5th. And Jamar Chase is a guy that would be out there. Devontae Smith will be over there at 5th or 7th or 8th. You can get your elite wide receiver. You do not have to go to free agency to bring a wide receiver in, which will save you a ton of money, where you can build on your offensive line. Look how many good offensive linemen are available. You have Lindley available this offseason, Tooney available. You can get both guys, spend the money on the offensive lineman, really put an unbelievable offensive line together with veterans and young players, and then you build your structure. You build around the offensive line and you protect Sam Darnold.
Lindsley should be a very big prime target for the Jets because he had one of the best seasons for a center last year when he was with Green Bay. And you
moved McGovern to the guard.
Yeah, he's still fairly young too. I think he's 27, 28. So Lindsley, they'd probably have to pay him a little more than an average center, but should be somebody they could prioritize for the Jets because interior rush is definitely an area where they could struggle against because if there's pressure from the tackles, like we know Mekhi Becton's phenomenal, what it will be for the right tackle, Sam Darnold could escape from that, but interior is going to be a lot harder.
And Carolina is going to be looking for a quarterback. There's no question. Everything we're hearing from Carolina, the beat writers, some of the coaches, and I'm not talking about Matt Rule. Some of their other coaches have come out and said that they're not unsure with Teddy Bridgewater. Teddy Bridgewater, you can't bet your franchise with Teddy Bridgewater after that injury. And even this year in the second half of the season, Teddy Bridgewater played well in the beginning of the season. And Robbie Anderson was excellent in the beginning of the season, kind of fell off in the second half of the season because of the quarterback play. So they're going to be looking for a quarterback. The question is Deshaun Watson going to become available? If he becomes available, there'll be a huge frenzy for him. Mm-hmm. A huge frenzy for him. It's not going to be just Carolina, San Francisco, the Broncos, Miami. It will be the Jets. The Jets will be in the mix. And by the way, the Jets have that one pick that they can daggle that nobody else has. And why would the Texans trade with Miami after trading that pick away and giving it to Miami? Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I think Miami's the lowest of the 5 rumored teams right now just because they're still an unknown with are they actually going to decommit from Tua right away. So I think it goes in terms of...
I don't think they will.
Well, again, they could recycle the quarterbacks all they want, whatever. They're still the least likely because of that. And the Jets are the most likely with the picks. The 49ers are most likely with the urgency and also the availability for them to do it because they don't need a lot on their roster. And again, if the Broncos and Panthers do well in free agency, they could definitely make a push. But the problem is both those teams need a lot on defense. Both those teams are similar where Watson's going to want to go there because nice running game with both teams, nice young receivers with both those teams. But again, do they have enough on defense to be able to afford to trade all those picks away? Because Watson's still going to take a lot.
It's going to be very, very interesting. When we come back, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to have our special guest, Speedy.
The triumphant return of UCLA cornerback recruit, the number 13 overall athlete, and the number 1 cornerback recruit in the 2021 recruiting class, Devin Kirkwood.
It's the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
Do current market conditions have you nervous? Our experienced team of financial professionals at Heritage Harbor Financial Associates understands that no two investors are alike. We all have different goals, needs, and appetites for risk. That's why the one-size-fits-all approach does not work, especially when planning for retirement. At Heritage Harbor Financial Associates, we analyze your unique investment style so that you can work toward your individual retirement goals on your terms. Heritage Harbor Financial Associates can help you take steps to reach your retirement goals by providing a wide array of financial products to fit your needs, even for the risk adverse. Give us a call at 631-331-6599 to learn more or to set up an appointment with one of our financial professionals. You can also find us on the web at hhfa.org or on Facebook at facebook.com/hhfa.org. Our number again is 631-331-6599. That's 631-331-6599. Investments in stock, bonds, and mutual funds and variable annuities are not FDIC insured and are subject to fluctuation in value and market risk, including loss of principal. Heritage Harbor Financial Associates offers securities through AXA Advisors, LLC, New York, New York. Member FINRA, SIPC, annuity and insurance products offered through AXA Network, LLC.
Be fearless at MMA Long Island and Seituha Karate. Located at 28 Cold Court in Ronkonkoma, MMA Long Island is the martial arts school for you if you want to learn combat-proven techniques, build confidence, discipline, and self-esteem while learning real martial arts to fight back against bullies, predators, and peer pressure. MMA Long Island offers group and private lessons for all ages and levels in traditional Goju-Ryu karate, MMA, and self-defense. MMA Long Island is one of Long Island's most affordable martial arts schools. There are no promotion, belt, or membership fees, and family discounts are available. All classes are taught by 7th degree black belt Sensei John Benedict with over 30 years teaching experience. So whether you want to get in the ring or protect yourself and your family, MMA Long Island can help you reach your goals. Visit MMALongIsland.com. That's MMALongIsland.com or call or text 516-381-9660. That's 516-381-9660.
Edward Lehman has been a trusted insurance advisor for over 16 years with insurance solutions for auto, home, commercial, life, and retirement. He's located at 54 Sunnyside Boulevard, Suite H in Plainview. That's just 1,000 feet south of 495. Local agent, local advice. The time to think about insurance is before you need it. So do yourself a favor and before you pay your next insurance bill, give Ed and his team a call, 516-935-3900, or visit him online at www.allstate.com/EL. Edward H. Lehman Insurance is your trusted insurance advisor.
You're listening to the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
Bouncing here and there and everywhere. High adventure that's beyond compare. They are the company bears.
I had to play this. As you guys know, this is Below the Mic. Remember, you can call us at 631-500-0548. You can go to our website at www.worldwidesportsradio.com. Go to our app, which is iOS, Apple, WWSRN, or Android, Worldwide Sports Radio Network. Well. Speedy, let you do the introduction on this one.
All right, returning to the show is UCLA cornerback recruit, the number 13 overall athlete, and the number 1 cornerback recruit in the 2021 class, Devin Kirkwood.
Look at that. What's going on, man? How are you and your family doing with this pandemic?
We're doing good. The pandemic is kind of hard because now it really just pushed everything back. And I didn't have a senior season, so I literally just had to do what I had to do to graduate early so I can enroll early to UCLA. So now I'm just thinking about going into UCLA and just coming out, just starting as a true freshman, being a freshman All-American, and making sure I have good grades so I can play.
Oh, stop. Good grades. What do you have, a 3.8 or a 3.9 average?
Yeah.
Good grades. Give me a break, Mr. Gummy Bear Man. By the way, that introduction was for you because first of all, I've interviewed so many great prospects, future prospects, NFL prospects, college prospects, and you have stuck out to me out of all the guys because of your personality. We got you on the phone last time. We couldn't get you on the video feed. So I'm happy we got you on the video feed. How is your mom doing right now?
My mom's doing good. She's in like a little meeting right now upstairs. So she's fine. She's been working hard, trying to make sure I stay on the right path and making sure that everything that I need, that she can help provide for me.
Mm-hmm. Well, your mom is a smart woman. She got her master's degree at USC. So let me ask you this question. And this is I understand with the whole COVID-19, what made you decide to, possibly decide to move to USC than UCLA? What made you decide to kind of take a step back and decide if you wanted to go play for USC or UCLA?
What made me think about stepping back was I was like, man, I got a real close relationship with Coach Dante that went to SC and some of the other coaches that are SC. And I knew a whole bunch of people that was going there. So I was like, dang, we could create a really big, great team and be really good. But I was like, but then that's too many stars on one team. You like, sometimes you got to be that. Sometimes you got to go somewhere and stand out. And I was like, I'd rather go somewhere else. I'd rather go to UCLA because they're on a come up. I was like, SC barely beat them, and UCLA's on a come up right now. They're on a rebuild period. So I'm like, I would go somewhere where they're rebuilding and the team's getting better every year. Now where the team's already good, I want to go somewhere where they're getting better to where now when we play against good competition, the spotlight going to be on me when I'm playing against them. Like, I see why he chose them over the other schools.
That's what I love about you. Your confidence, your personality, and I would have done the same thing. I a little bit about me. I had a decision to go to New Hampshire or Maine or Niagara University. I was going to be redshirted for college hockey, for New Hampshire and Maine. And those were the two top teams in the country. I wanted to go to Niagara because I wanted to go to an up-and-coming team, a MAC division team, where I was going to play and I was going to be the best player on the team. And I wanted to make the team better. And I wanted to stand out from all the other players that I was going to play with from New Hampshire and Maine. So I agree with you. I understand why you did that.
Yes, that's the move. Like it's cool to be on a super team, but it's way better when you're able to play against a super team, because that shows that you don't need to be on a really good team to be great.
Mm-hmm.
If you can make everybody else around you better and be like a leader on a team and lead your team to victory, that shows true character instead of just being already on a good team.
So go through the signing day process of it. Obviously, a lot of people were hinting at, like you were saying, that you were going to pick USC, obviously them being huge rivals, USC and UCLA. Was there a certain level of maybe like pettiness or trickery that you wanted to put in? Because we've seen a lot of these recruits, both with football and with basketball, they kind of troll them in a way. And was it directed at anybody if there was? Like I know we were talking about in the last interview you had, your mother has ties with USC. Was there any kind of like shots you were taking at USC people that you know? If that approach you took?
It was like all over Twitter. Twitter was going crazy when SC beat UCLA. They was going crazy. They was posting like the little Michael Jordan sad face over the Bruin logo on the field, and then put and had like fire underneath it, like showing like they were that they was like they destroyed him. I was like, y'all didn't destroy him. Y'all beat him in the fourth quarter with the last 15 seconds. I was like, that's not how you say that you won a game. You had to win off the last 15 seconds. It was just the defense. The defense provided all game, but it was just that last drive. SC wanted it more. But the throwing the shade and stuff, they was throwing shade all week against each other. They was like, Kirkwood don't want to go to SC because this. Kirkwood don't want to go to UCLA because of this, and this. That they was posting. That's why Kirkwood decommitted. He about to come to SC. And then they was like, nah, he just decommitted to step back and see what he wanted, but his true home go be UCLA. I was just like every day. Then on Instagram, it was even worse because it was like people like the SC fan pages was tag me and things like they was like, we know you coming, Dev. It's like, make the move. I'm like, you don't even know yet. You don't even know where I'm going. Everybody just posting like he decommitted from UCLA. He going to SC already. We already know. He said he wanted to stay home. I was like,
I will say this. And by the way, we are talking to the number one cornerback recruit, Devin Kirkwood, UCLA Bruin. I remember when we interviewed you and you told me you grew up a UCLA fan, a Bruin fan. Your mom was a Bruin fan. Your family was a Bruin fan. And that's where you wanted to go. So I was very surprised when I heard that you were interested in possibly going to USC. I was like, wow, you hated USC. And it was so you told me you were not going to go and play for USC. There was no thought in your mind to go play at USC. And your mom said, I remember your mom saying, there's no way my son is going to go play for USC. And she went to school at USC. So
yeah, so
it's crazy. I was like, wait a second. When Jillian told me he might be committing to USC, I was like, what? He told me he wasn't going there. So I was shocked when I heard that. And then she says, well, his signing day, we'll go out live on his signing day. There was a problem with your signing day, but I was happy that you picked UCLA. I think you're going to a coach, Chip Kelly, who has coached in the NFL. He was very successful. Everybody says he wasn't successful in the NFL. If you look at his record, he was successful in the NFL. A very good offensive mind, and he always brings in good defensive coordinators. I think being that it's Coach Kelly and he has the experience in the NFL, I think he's going to develop your skills. I think he's going to make you a great player.
Yes, and I also picked UCLA because I love his connections. Mm-hmm. Like, you don't see nobody having Bill Belichick in his office or going out to dinner with Bill Belichick like that on the regular. I was like, when I saw that the Patriots was up there sometimes when they was in town training up at UCLA, I was like, I want to be there when the NFL people come out there, like Odell, all them. I want to go against them sometimes, ask them some questions. Like I want to widen my horizon with all this stuff, because then it makes it easier for me, like going against the college receivers and then also knowing what the NFL receivers do. So then it makes the game way slower against the college receivers, because then you'll be like, he'll show you like he breaks down here, that must mean he's not like he's going to fully commit to somewhere else. Or if he tries to shake you at the line, he has a certain amount of time because it's a timing route now. Because now if he gave you all this, that means he got one way to go.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he can get out his break. So I'm like,
let's just hope you don't go to the Patriots, okay? that would make me very upset because I'm a fan of yours. You're a fan of you're a friend of the show. You're a friend on me on social media. I follow you. I want you to succeed. I want you to become the best cornerback in the NFL, the best cornerback in college football. I do not want to see you go to the Patriots and play for Bill Belichick.
No, I don't like the Patriots, but if that happened,
I
don't really want it to happen, but because it is cold out there. But
so wait a second. Hold on 1 second. Because it's cold, if the Jets draft you, you don't want to go to the Jets?
I go to the Jets. I used to play for the Inglewood Jets.
Inglewood
Jets Paul Warner team.
Oh, well, I'm just letting you know because I'm going to reach out to Joe Douglas. I'm going to do everything I possibly can that in 3 years from now, when you become eligible for the NFL draft, then I'm going to be like, Douglas or Robert Saleh, Coach Saleh. I'm going to say, Saleh, get this kid, draft this kid. This kid is for real. I love this kid. I think this kid is going to be a superstar in the NFL. I love your personality. I love your just everything about you. Just your mom. You're a very confident guy, and the person that you are, and your personality that brings out everything about you tells me that you're going to be a star, and it's going to sell me that you're going to be a star in college football and the NFL.
Yes, that's the whole plan. Because I grinding every day, wake up, eat, sleep, literally work out, and just try and get bigger. That's all I literally been doing. Because if I want to be great, you can't really take no days off.
Nice. People say that.
Like I really kind of had played my last tournament like 2 weekends ago. Went out there. It was in Arizona. So it was like a tournament. It was with this team called Red Rum. So we was out there playing. And the teams we were playing against was so-called FSP, one of the top 7-on-7 teams was out there. So I'm like,
I've heard of them.
So I'm like, dang, our team just came together. All the cameras was on me. They was like the best corners out here playing. I'm like, dang. I'm like, I gotta really show out. So I literally went the first day, had no balls called on me at all. So I was like, dang, this is really crazy. I'm like, I'm really making a movie on the field. So next day comes, we playing against some team. We got played like 5 games to make it to the championship. So we beat all 5 teams, and I still had 0 balls called on me. They wasn't even really looking my way. It was funny. I had a coach yell at his player saying, "You can't beat 6'3". Why are you throwing it his way?" I was just like, hey. But what really stood out to me that whole tournament was after we won, was like a parent and her son and her husband came up to me and told me that they really like my playing style and like my grind and how I carry myself on the field. Like they say, like I talk trash, but then I'd be like, no, I'm just serious, and I'm just straight serious. Like I'm ready to go. And it'd be like they say I always have a smile on my face, and that like I'm always upbeat to where I'm always ready to play and ready to stay on the grind. Mm-hmm. And that stood a lot to me in my heart, because it was like she told me that she believes that I can make it to the NFL, and I was like, dang, like you just saw me for 2 days, and you was like, you really believe because of how much hard work I've shown on this field today, these past 2 days. Her son was taking pictures with me and all. I was like, that was really like one of my biggest moments, because it was like now I see my brand is actually spreading, not just being in LA and Arizona, all around LA. It's actually spreading to Washington, all over the place. I'm like, now people are actually knowing Devin Kirkwood, the last name, just like right there. Devin Kirkwood.
The Pac-12 will know you well when you lock down their best receivers. Don't worry.
By the way, we are talking to the #1 cornerback recruit, UCLA Bruins, Devin Kirkwood.
So you were showing us the jersey in the interview now, and also you were showing it to me when I was setting up for the interview, and also you had a ring for it. So tell the fans about the significance of that, and maybe some of the backstories behind how you ended up getting that All-American jersey you got there.
So it started freshman year. I was like, I wasn't the smartest kid, and I wasn't the fastest kid on the football field. So everybody looked at me like he's not really gonna be a football player. He's gonna be like a student. He's just playing football right now because like his height and he's not that strong. So I'm like, all right. So freshman goes by, and I'm like, man, I really hope I can make it to college because that's every kid's dream. So I'm like, man, every day it was going through my head like I want to make it to college. I want to be on the Sarah Wall. I want to be on the Sarah Wall for All-Americans with Robert Woods and Dory Jackson, Marquise Lee. I want to be one of them kids that be up there. So I'm like, all right. So then it was my sophomore year came, and it was like right after the season, we played Bosco. Then we lost, and I was really mad. I was like, dang, I really didn't get to play. So I'm about to transfer. I'm transferring. I'm going somewhere else. But my head coach and Coach Marv had talked to me and got me to stay. But it was like, Dev, you're going to be a really big name recruit. Just wait until the spring. You'll see. So the spring came after I trained with Ground Zero for like a while. And then all of a sudden the offers had showed up and I was like, wow, like I ended up with 8 offers. And then I was like, dang, I'm extremely blessed. First offer. Oh, you got to always remember the first offer. Nevada. That was like my very first offer. That had me in tears because it was like, dang, like the hard work is paying off, but I want to be the best corner in my class. So I got to keep working. So then, by the way, I wasn't even really a corner at first. I was a receiver. I was an athlete, so I was really playing offense and then a little bit of defense. They just put me at corner because I actually was kind of able to stick somebody. So I was playing receiver, and then it was like, a college coach told me, he's like, have you ever thought about playing corner? I was like, no, I'm 6'3". Why do I want to play defense? So I'm like, nah, I don't want to play corner. But then Coach Brown talked to me and he was like, Dad, you being 6'3" and being able to have good feet and have good technique, 6'3", you can go to the league like that. I'm like, everybody's telling me like, Dad, play defense. I'm like, fine, I'm gonna play defense. So I just forget offense. I focused in on defense. So I'm like, all right, I got right. And then my sophomore semester, second semester, it was like right before summer, I got SC. That was my biggest offer at that time. And I'm like, I went to the SC camp, balled out, and got the offer. I'm like, man, that's crazy. And then right after, I went to the UCLA camp, balled out at the UCLA camp. And then Chip Kelly was like, I really like your playing style. I like all the things about you. And I'm like, dang. But he ain't offered me. I was like, wait a minute. You said you liked everything about me, but you didn't offer me. Okay. So then it was summer ball coming around. He came to our first summer ball practice, and he saw me practice again. He was like, Dad, I like you a lot. And I'm like, Coach, you keep saying this. Like, you're the school that I grew up liking. Like, come on, Coach. So then junior year came and we played our season. We started off really good, and then we had a lot of injuries. So then we didn't finish how we wanted to finish. But I was like, okay. So this is my last year 7-on-7 for Ground Zero. So I played with Ground Zero. We went out to Florida. We got whooped the first night. I'm not even gonna cap about that. We got whooped. And then we came back to the tournament. We got whooped. We played like a scrimmage. We lost. They blew us out. They was talking all trash about us on the internet. Like, oh, Ground Zero, LA people weak. They was like, they're not good. I was like, dang, you saying we not good? So then we played them. So we go to the next day on Saturday. We play them. We play all the teams from out there. We're second seed. We're right behind DEFCON. So we played DEFCON the next day. We beat them 24-7. All of a sudden, everybody's like, LA still good, not good. We was like, y'all whooped us in a scrimmage, and then we come out and beat y'all in a tournament in your home turf and just win the whole tournament. That was one of a big moment for me. And then going to the Under Armour All-American camp.
Right.
balling out, and then I didn't even get the invite that day. They didn't even invite me that day. They was like, "Dev, we gonna stay in touch with you. We gonna get you." They was like, "We like your playing style. We like all that." And I was like, "Dang, why didn't y'all get?" I was like, "All right, this whatever." I'm
gonna make a shirt. I'm gonna make a shirt for you. It's gonna say "Dang." Okay. It's gonna say "Dang." I'm actually gonna make a shirt for you. I'm gonna send it out to you, and it's gonna say "Dang." I'm seriously gonna do it. I think it's funny. I think that is your line. It's Devin Dang Kirkwood.
Devin Dang Kirkwood.
Devin Dang Kirkwood. I mean, every single thing. I will say this, man. Your personality, not only when people get to know who you are as a person, you're a good kid. I see your posts. I see what you do on social media. Your personality, it definitely drives people. Me as a person that actually respects athletes, because I was an athlete my own self, I see who you are as a person. I see that you're not trying to take the easy way out. You're going to go to a team where you're the center of attention to that team. You're the center of attention to that defense, and you're going to make that defense an elite defense. To me, that shows me your person, who you are as a person, your personality, and what you want to be, and you want to be looked at as a college player and eventually as a prospect in the NFL. So to me, that's what stands out to me about you. And when just getting to know you, out of all the, like I said, all the different recruits that we've interviewed, and we've interviewed a lot. I like, believe it or not, my two favorite interviews were two corners. You and you know who I'm talking about. Ashford, who is Mr. Ashford, who is going to play for Wisconsin. I don't like your favorite team. I don't like the team he's going to, but I'm a huge fan of his. And you two stick out more like a sore thumb from all the different recruits that we've interviewed. We've interviewed some top recruits. So, but I could tell who you are as a person. Your mother raised you right. And I see that school comes first before sports. You're a track and field superstar. You are. And not only as the track and field superstar, you're the number one cornerback recruit in the 2021 class, which is fantastic. What is your thoughts of some of the recruits that you've seen, and being that you're the number one cornerback recruit going into college football?
That's really, I didn't think that it was gonna ever happen, because there's a lot of good corners like Sierra Wright, Jalen Davies.
We interviewed him, by the way.
Him too. Yep.
We interviewed Jalen Davies, who very, very nice guy. What is he like? What's his favorite food?
He was the sour Skittles guy.
Sour Skittle guy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, them two. I train with them every day, so it was like, I was like, dang, like they're really, really good. So it was like they started corner before me, and just for me to be able to show that why I'm all the work that I put in, why I should be the number one corner in this class, is like, it means a lot to me, because you don't get that recognition a lot. A lot of people just was like, you look over me and be like, oh, he's gonna sooner or later blossom. I was like, no, I'm gonna show them now and then keep showing them. I was telling people, I think of my game after Jalen Ramsey, CJ Henderson, and Jair Alexander, the three people that always talk trash on the field, and then they back it up like an underdog. Jair Alexander, everybody says Ramsey. I'm like, but what about Jair? Jair was locking people up all season. Right. He wasn't really giving up no tubs. And when he was in the Tampa versus Green Bay game, he had 2 picks. I was like, come on, y'all didn't give no credit to Jair really all season. But when he got them 2 picks, everybody was like, oh, Jair's really up there with Ram. Like, no, y'all was sleeping on him for half the season.
Right. Well, the one thing I could say about you're 6'3", which a lot of corners are not 6'3" in the NFL. You're as fast as any one of these corners in the NFL. You talk about Stephon Gilmore. You talk about you talk about Jalen Ramsey. You're faster than all of these guys. You're longer than them. You're taller than them. You're faster than them. And you're a ball hawk. So to me, unless you completely screw up in college football, which I don't believe you will, you're going to be a star in college football. You're going to stand out, and you're going to go into the NFL, and you're going to be a superstar. I really do believe that. And your personality, that will sell here in New York. If you got drafted by the Giants or the Jets, your personality will stand out. You're not a cocky kid, but you're a kid that knows how good you are. And you're confident that when you step on the field that you're going to be able to dominate. And that to me shows me who you are as a person, because as much as you could talk crap all you want, you got to put up on the field. You do that, and you do it with such ease. And I've watched clips of you. I've checked you out on YouTube. I'm a fan of yours, and I like watching tape, and I want to see what you can do and how talented you are. You're a long kid, and you're fast, and somebody can beat you on the outside, and then as soon as they go on the outside, you're going to cut that ball off, and you're going to stop them. And to me, that's a form of not only a superstar player, that's an NFL style player. So I do believe you're going to get where you want to go in this sport.
Yes. Thank you.
So actually, it's funny you brought up Jair Alexander and Jalen Ramsey, because one of my questions was the position as a whole in the corner position oftentimes gets snubbed when it comes to awards, MVP, like Super Bowl MVP or even Defensive Player of the Year. And I thought this year, you brought up Jair Alexander, who's probably just as deserving too, if not more. Xavier Howard was another one I thought that was deserving. He had 9 interceptions this year. Another guy that's a very long corner as well. Played very well for a very good Miami defense this year. So do you think as a whole, just because maybe the stats don't always show it? I mean, with Howard, they had 9 interceptions, but because they're not thrown to, because it's locked down like you were talking about all throughout your tournament, you were thrown at and didn't allow a catch, that kind of gets devalued when it comes to awards, and really it shouldn't.
It's kind of hard to like give people awards when you don't see, like when the QB doesn't throw at them. So it's like you can't give them like the so-called best DB or anything when the QB when they don't even look your way. It'd be like you're basically taking away a whole receiver. So it's like when we was in the tournament, I thought I was gonna win MVP. I thought I was gonna win MVP because I didn't give up no ball. Whenever 2-3 games, they didn't even look at me. They didn't even look at the receiver. They was just telling him, just run a hitch. Just run a hitch. Like, you're not going to get open. And then everybody was like, Deb. Everybody was looking like, I thought he didn't get a ball because I was like, hey, man, it's none of my business. I'm not going to say nothing. I'm just going to play. I just come out and play. But when we did that little All-American 7-on-7 in Dallas, that really stood out to me the most, because that was like they said the corner that was the number 1 DB this year was me. I was like, wow. I was like, out of all the corners you could have picked, Davies, Damani, all of them corners, you picked me. I was like, that is crazy. And I was like, man.
Is that mom right there? Is that mom right there?
Yeah.
Say hello, Mama. Let's see you. Come into the picture. Come into the video. Come into the video.
Okay, I'll just stick it.
Hi, Mom. How are you?
Thanks for having him. Look, he's excited, as you can see. My little knucklehead. And when you said dang, Devin, dang, when he was growing up, on my license plate, what did it say? It said YD nice. That was my license plate thing. I was like, why? So, so this personality has been molded for a long time, but I'm very proud of him. He's working hard. And like you said, it kind of hurt your feelings when he said USC, he committed to UCLA. Trust me, our household was kind of on ups and downs when he came and was like, Mom, let me make my decision. And he said, I'm decommitting. I was like, do what you want to do. I hope you make the best decision. So,
well, I will say this. Your son has the personality. He has what do they call it? The swang over there. And, I think the person that you are, you're a hardworking kid. You always, all the trials and tribulations you had, and nobody thought, you didn't even think that you were going to be the number 1 corner recruit coming out of this draft, this class. And then seeing what you were and what you've turned out to be as a person, being that you're 6'3", you're an athletic kid, and that you are a good student too. Not only are you a great athlete, you're a great student. I think that a lot of people can learn something from you, and the hard work and dedication that you put into the work that you do, it all pays off. And you see it right now. You're going to UCLA, a top collegiate school. You're going to be the superstar in that defense. And you have the opportunity to really put yourself on the top of the top echelon corners in the college brass. So I think that what you're doing and what you are and what you're going to be at, not only am I a fan of yours, I think that a lot of people are going to draw to you throughout the country when you step on the field for UCLA.
Yes, thank you. I think so too, and I hope so, because I'm ready to show the technique that I've learned from Coach Anthony Brown, square technique. Because you know some people that just that are going to the league this year that use our technique. Cam Bynum, Thomas Graham, Diamador, like a lot, all of them really good. Elijah Griffin from SC, OG, yes, them dudes. I've trained with them all the time, and they've made me really good and like helped me see my technique in different ways and help me advance it a lot. Just like I get to go against LV, Chad Johnson. LV helped me a lot through my years at Sarah while he was at Sarah. Because like that, going against him, it helped me know that I got to be more patient. I got to actually shoot my hands at a certain time, not just try and shoot them right away. Play with my feet more, not always try and just jam straight away. Be able to show that I could just stick and not just be somebody that just always got to put their hands on. I'm like, and now, ever since I've learned that, it's like I can just stick somebody and then not really have to use my hands. And it'd be so fun because everybody be like, he's 6'3", he can't run. I'm like, what? All right, step out here. And then I'm about to show you what I can do.
Is that the same Anthony Brown that used to play for the Cowboys a couple years ago?
Oh, no, Anthony Brown, he coaches for Ground Zero.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because a lot of the former players, once they end up retiring, I mean, he's still pretty young, but he wasn't he wasn't a great corner in the NFL for Dallas, so I wasn't sure if it was the same guy.
No, Anthony Brown, GZ, he's different. I call him Guru, Square Technique Guru.
Nice. That's a cool nickname.
Dang Guru.
So I have a question, being that you're entering the Pac-12. We saw this year in this college football season, the Pac-12 players in particular were very adamant about a lot of different things with the coronavirus, with having a safe training facility, stuff like that. And it seemed like they were very outspoken as a result. And a lot of other players as a result really became more of advocates for it. And we see this a lot in pro sports where the athletes are really trying to be outspoken and fight for certain issues. Can you see that now with college football and even just college sports in general, these players really having more power than they did before?
Yes, I see that we have like a lot more power now, because now they're seeing that like it's not just like a business, it's like a family now. Because like you gotta have the players. Your players have to trust you as a coach, and you have to trust your players for them to go out there and play at their best. So now they're actually putting like a lot more trust into the players, because now it's about the safety of the players now, and not just winning. It's about the safety, about the players and the people that are back home for them. Because Corona showed that like you could be here one day and then gone the next. You would never know. So now Corona has like changed the aspect of the world, and in a college level and on a national level. Because now it's like it's safety. Like this is your life. You only get one. So you got to live it to the fullest and be able. And when you feel like you can't go, you got to be able to speak up, because now they're giving you the chance to speak up. And you shouldn't be afraid to take advantage of that.
Oh, I agree with you. And I will say this, just get ready, because you will eventually have to play in the snow and in the cold. So that's going to be definitely a new thing for you. You come from California. We're actually getting 4 to 8 inches, possibly 12 inches tomorrow of snow. So we've gotten, I think it was like 18 or 19 inches so far this winter. So
look what's going on in Texas now too.
Yeah, I mean it's crazy. It's really crazy. I've missed the snow over here in New York, but that's something that's it's going to be different for you, and it's probably more exciting and more fun to play in it than actually playing in it. Mm-hmm. So I think I'm very excited for you, Devin, man. I want you to succeed. I want you to achieve all your goals, and I want to celebrate with you when you get drafted by an NFL team, because I think you're going to not only achieve the goals that you want to do, I think that you can do anything you put your mind to, and you've proven that. year in and year out, especially where you've been and where you're going. And look at your mom, man. Your mom went back to school and she got a master's degree at USC. I mean, anything is possible. Anything is possible. So,
and this, you got to tune in this year. Watch, because we play LSU week 2. I can't wait. Now that's a game I want to play in at the Rose Bowl. Now that's the team I want to play against.
Well, you're going to get a chance to play against them, a national champion 2 years ago, a team that's going to be stacked with players. As you know, they have a very good recruiting class, and I love Chip Kelly. I know a lot of people don't like Chip because of what he has done in the NFL. Even when he was over there in Oregon, I like him as a person. I think that I've met him. I met him once years and years ago before he became an NFL coach, and I met him at a junction, and he seemed pretty nice to me. A lot of people didn't like his offensive game when he came into the NFL, but it worked. It really did. It worked. You could say whatever you want. It worked. He had a winning career in the NFL. He wasn't a losing coach in the NFL.
He won one playoff appearance his first year, and then I think they went 9-7 the second year.
Yeah.
The problem with them is they just fell. I think they collapsed in the second half of the season. Yeah. Dallas made the playoffs over them, and someone else did. And then the third year, it's funny you brought up Bill Belichick before. They destroyed the Patriots in New England. That game was like 35-14 at one point. The Patriots got garbage time points. And Bill Belichick, when Chip Kelly got fired, he was really defending him. Like he was one of the best coaches.
Well, matter of fact, he actually tried to bring Chip Kelly in as his offensive coordinator at the time. So
Chip's dangerous. Chip's a dangerous coach on offense. He
loves the spread offense. He's the one who really changed college football offensively. He opened up the game. He changed the game of offensive style of game. And that's why I think you're going to very much succeed. I think you're going to be a better player because of the style of offense and the practices and defending some of the wide receivers and the strengths of his offense. I think it's going to make you a better player. I think it's going to make you a lot better player.
You get to go against a lot of passing in practice? What? That's about to be fun because now I get to show my coverage skills and I get to show my ball tracking skills and give me some picks in practice.
Yeah, and it's going to turn heads, and it's going to make people realize the best corners in college football, the best corners in the NFL are the corners that don't get thrown to. Everybody knows that. If you know that the ball isn't coming your way, that coach has a tremendous amount of respect for you on the other side of the field. So you know that, and you know that's happening. It just shows you the talent that you are on the field. So I think that's what you're going to be. I'm looking forward to watching you. And by the way, remember our bet. Remember, 4 interceptions your rookie season or more. 3 or what was it? 3 or 4? It
was 4.
4 interceptions or more.
Whatever your as a starter was.
I am going to send you, what was it? 6 months. It was 6 months.
6 months supply of gummy bears.
Of gummy bears.
Hey, I'm telling you, you about to see 4 interceptions.
I'm a man of my word. I'm a man of my word. And I tell you, I was in Costco's the other day, and they had these big, bulky gummy bear, and I was like, "This is what I'm going to send Devin." You know what I mean? So you're going to be stocking up, man. You're going to be stocking up and swimming in gummy bears, man. But
I'm telling you, you're going to see.
I know.
When I get 4, I'm just going to keep trying to climb. I'm going to cheat because since I'm going to be a freshman, they're going to be like, "Let's test the waters against them."
Just don't forget us. Don't forget us, man. Definitely don't forget us.
Oh, no, I can't.
I'm working on right now a very big thing on a big time radio station out here in New York, one of the biggest radio stations in the country. And when I do, I would love to get you on as one of my first guests on my show.
Trust me, I would love to. I would love to be on it.
Absolutely. I love you, man. I want you to stay safe, stay clear from COVID. Say hello to your family. Tell the fans how they can find you on social media.
You can find me on Instagram at 3Kirkwood. You can find me on Twitter at Devin Kirkwood 12. And my other Twitter is Kirkwood Nice. That's like my track one I used to do when I used to do track. Mm-hmm. But basically Devin Kirkwood 12 is my main one for football. Mm. So
well, you better. You're Devin Kirkwood 12. You're not following me on social media. I'm going to follow you tonight. You better follow me, man. I am not a Twitter guy, but I'm going to start tweeting. I got almost 1,700 people that follow me. I don't know how I do because the last time I tweeted was like 5 months ago.
Maybe he does follow you and he doesn't, and you don't realize.
Man, he just doesn't know. He probably follows me, but doesn't know.
Yeah, because I remember right after.
No, he follows me with his track and field.
He does. Okay, because I know his Devin Kirkwood 12 followed me right after I followed him after our last.
Yeah, I knew I followed you.
I remember you followed me, so maybe he followed you and didn't check.
Maybe I didn't check. I'll look. But I want you to stay safe, man. Say hello to the family. We're gonna get you on when the season starts, and remember, 4 interceptions or more, and you're gonna get that 6-month supply of gummy bears.
Okay, I got you. Thank you.
Absolutely. Tell your mom I said hi, say goodbye, and we will be in touch, my friend.
Okay, thank you.
And good. And by the way, congratulations on all your achievements this year.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you.
Absolutely.
It really means a lot to me.
Absolutely, man. You and Ashford on the New York Jets on both sides of the ball, man. I would love
that. Be dangerous.
And my 2 corners.
Nope.
Ashford on one side. And Devin on the other.
Ashford's going to the Giants. We already went over this.
Get out of here. He's a Giant fan. Ashford is a Giant fan. And I told him, what happens if the Jets trade you? He says, what did he say?
He said he's going to pull an Eli Manning.
He'll pull an Eli Manning. But I think if you're on the other side and you guys are playing together for the rest of your careers, that would be some dynamic defense, let me tell you.
You know, it would be something, too. I just thought of this. If Devin is drafted by the Rams, an LA connection, and he plays with Jalen Ramsey,
oh, God.
that would be something, too.
Oh,
that would be dangerous. That would be dangerous.
He is. I mean, could you imagine him and Jalen Ramsey talking crap on both sides of the ball?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God. Too.
I feel like that's like the dream scenario, Devin.
You too.
Man, that will be dangerous. Oh.
Oh my God, Devin! Thank you for joining us, bud.
Thank you for letting me on. Thank you
absolutely, and we're gonna get you on again, man. Stay in touch
with those shirts.
Yes, I am gonna make you a shirt. I just bought a cricket, so I'm making shirts. I am going to set up. I'm gonna get a Devin Dang Kirkwood shirt, and I'm gonna send it to you. I'm gonna
get thank you. You're gonna see me. I'm gonna post it on. I'm gonna
send it to you. What are you, a large or an extra large?
A large.
All right. I'm
telling you.
I'm gonna send it to you, man. What's your number? What's your number in college?
Huh?
What's gonna be your number in college?
I don't know right now. Hopefully it's either gonna be 3 or 2. But if I don't get 3 or 2 this year, I'm gonna try and rock the 23, just like for my sophomore year as a corner. And then next year, my sophomore year, I know what number I'm gonna wear because me and Chip had talked about. I'm gonna rock that 3, and you're gonna see me back in the 3 if I can't wear it this year.
Well, you won't have a number on the first shirt, but on the second shirt, I'll make sure that I get that for you. It says Kirkwood on the back over the number. So
okay,
all right. So I'm gonna get something together for you, and I'm gonna get your address, and I'm gonna mail it to you.
Okay, thank you.
Absolutely, man. Stay safe. We'll talk to you soon.
You guys too. Y'all both stay safe.
Absolutely. Devin Kirkwood, ladies and gentlemen, the number 1 corner in the country. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Great kid.
Oh my God.
Great kid.
So much fun to have.
Personality. Just everything. I think when you're trying to sell something to a nation, and really when you look at college football and you look at the cornerback position, the corner position is one of the most important positions in the NFL. You look at the offensive line, the quarterback, the offense, the left tackle, and then the corner. That's it. And then a pass rusher. The corner is the 3rd most important position in all of sports, really in all of football.
Yeah.
And what he is as a person, his personality, his education. His mother strides him to be the best at whatever he does. And he's a track and field star. I mean, everything about him, his personality draws you. I don't know if you're a fan, if you're a football fan or you're a player fan, and you look at Devin Kirkwood, how could you not be a fan of his?
Oh, absolutely. And the other thing too, like you mentioned the corner position being so important, and Devin is a prime example of this. Long corners are being a big new wave of the NFL, especially it really started with the Seahawks, the Legion of Boom, but Jalen Ramsey, there was a reason he was a great prospect, and Devin brings him up all the time.
Browner, remember when Browner was when
he was with Seattle,
when he was a dominant corner, 6'4", 6'3", big, strong. he's faster than any of those.
Yes,
guys.
and again, they're becoming the new wave of the NFL, where because these receivers have gotten so quick, so fast right away, right off the line of scrimmage, the guys, whether it's physical zone or physical man coverage, bump and run coverage, it's so important. And that's why we were talking about the prospects in this year's draft. That's why I say J.C. Horn is my favorite corner in this year's draft, because he has that length too and the speed to go with it. And again, a lot of these corner recruits or these corner prospects now that we're seeing in these drafts, and recruits like Devin, they're long right away.
And he's going to grow. You know, he's 6'3", he's 18 years old, and he's growing. And he's going to get bigger. He's going to get stronger. He's going to get fat. Could you imagine a guy that can run almost a 4.3? I mean, seriously, a corner that can run a 4.3. He's 6'3", and he has the length and the ability to do all those things that we talk about NFL corners that you need them to do. It's incredible. And I think the kid's going to be a star. I think his personality will sell to you fans, all the guys, all the people that are watching the shows and listen to the show through our stream. Devin is going to be a star. And I'm telling you right now, 3-4 years down the road, we're going to talk about Devin being a top 10 prospect coming out of the NFL draft. And I think he's going to achieve all his goals. He just got to keep his head in the books, keep his head into the game, and he's going to do everything he wants to. I could tell you that right now for his personality. So, and I'm a huge corner fan. I'm a Darrelle Reeves fan. He's my favorite player growing up. And if Devin is anywhere close to the type of player like Darrelle, and Darrelle wasn't big. Darrelle's 5'10", 5'11", but he was mean, and he can run routes, and he always let people beat him so he can stick them in the routes. I think Devin has the speed, he has the ability, he has the agility to do that. Devin could be a hybrid type of corner that when you look at corners now, like you're saying, Speedy, that are long and strong, and that's what these coaches are looking for. That's what these GMs are looking for now. Just like the quarterback, it's become a mobile quarterback league now. Guys like Devin that can get to the quarterback because of his speed, his ability, with all the intangibles that he has. It's an incredible. He's a physical specimen, and it's pretty amazing. And one of my favorite prospects I've interviewed.
Yeah, I think when we interviewed him the first time too, he was mentioning how he was playing receiver, he played safety at times, and again, the versatility. We ask him the question of a lot of different positions all the time. It's becoming a big key in today's game, but definitely with the kind of versatility at defensive back is very important, especially with the length that he has, the ability to play in the slot, outside, and in a whole tournament, hold nobody to any catches, not even a hitch pass, not even a screen pass. That is pretty impressive.
It is. It's impressive. Because I said it to Devin, I'll say it again. Any coach that doesn't want to throw on your side of the field tells you how good you are as a player.
Strikes fear.
It strikes fear against anybody that plays against him. So when you look at who he is as a person, how could it not sell you on what he can achieve in the game of football? And that's what I want to see. I want to see all these recruits become successful, because to me, they're the next product of the NFL. Yeah. Those are the guys that these young kids are going to look up to. And me being 38 years old, Speedy, you being 26, and we're a little bit older. I'm a lot older than Devin, and I was an athlete too. And there were mistakes that I made in my time of playing sports that maybe if I didn't make those mistakes, or I didn't become an egotistical idiot when I could have gotten back on the ice and do the things that I could be retiring as a future Hall of Famer in the NHL, but I made my mistakes. And that's why I tell all these athletes that we interview, these young athletes, to go for yours. Don't worry about the objective, except the objective to go get your college education and go play football, and play it at your best of your ability. And when you do that and you show people that you're a great player, people will see it. They'll know it, and they'll respect you. So nothing but my respect for the kid. I think the kid's going to be a star anywhere he goes. UCLA, USC, Wisconsin, Florida State, no matter where he goes, he's going to be a star because of his personality and is eager to learn and be the best that he can be on the field.
Definitely.
So Devin Kirkwood, the #1 corner prospect in the nation, 2021. You will see him on the field next year for UCLA, and you'll see him shutting down the best wide receivers in the Pac-12. Pac-12, right?
Pac-12 and LSU, like you mentioned this year. Well, this is the second game of the season. That's gonna be a big test right away.
No, it'll be an
he's
easy
got it.
test for him.
He's got
It'll
this,
be an
Devin.
easy test.
Devin's got this.
It'll be an easy test for him because I think he wants to play the best. And if you want to be compared to the best and be the best, you got to play the best. And LSU is one of the best in the nation.
Mm-hmm.
So you shut down their wide receivers, you can shut down anybody. And people will see it. Trust me. It'll probably be on TV. It'll probably be on ESPN because LSU is usually on one of those big channels. So you'll get the chance to see Devin and Devin will show and floss what he is as a player and let him flash his gummy bears all over when he shuts down the wide receivers of LSU. So before we go, I do want to say this. Anybody that is not watching the New York Knicks, I don't know what you guys aren't watching. And by the way, I watched the hit list today, and one of the guys on the show said that the Knicks are garbage. Okay, the Knicks are garbage. This team, and I'm going to say this again, and I'll say it over and over again. This team was the 31st ranked defense in the NBA last year. They are ranked number 1 in every category of defense this year. For anybody to say that the Knicks are garbage, they're not watching it. And Julius Randle, say whatever you want as a player. And the Knicks have him on the cheap. They're paying him $18 million a year, and they have control of him for another year. You're watching this kid turn into a superstar right in front of our eyes. He is becoming a superstar. He's averaging 24, 10, and 6. He is one of the best big men. He's one of the best power forwards in the NBA right now. It's pretty impressive when he has better numbers than Anthony Davis. Yes, the great Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis, everybody talks about an MVP candidate every year. Julius Randle is doing more on the court than Anthony Davis. He's playing as well as any power forward right now in the NBA. And that says a lot for a 26-year-old kid that was not what he was, what he is now than he was last year. Yeah. Okay, so it's an incredible thing. Payne, you have to give Payne a lot of credit for what he is doing with the New York Knicks as an assistant coach, a coach from Kentucky. You're seeing some of the development. Even Kevin Knox has looked better this year. Look at Emmanuel Quigley. I mean, Emmanuel Quigley is going to be a star in this league. And say whatever you want about what this team is. We don't know what this team is going to be because this team is not finished yet. They don't have the finishing product. But what this team could be and what this team could be in the future could be an NBA competitive championship team. Now, I don't know if it's going to be a year from now, 2 years, or 3 years from now. But if you have the right coach, you have the right GM, and you have the right people, the executives around this team to build this team, anything is possible, especially with the draft stock that they have.
I want to go back to the hit list because I want to say one of their guys, I don't know if he was on this show in particular. One of their guys is a Pacers fan. I know that. And the Knicks are only half a game back of the Pacers, who were supposed to be a good team this year. The Knicks were supposed to be they were supposed to be better than we were last year, but they weren't supposed to be a playoff team. The Knicks are half a game back of the Pacers. I know Carl's a Celtics fan. They're, I think, a game and a half back of the Celtics because they won yesterday against the Nuggets. So I think they're now a game and a half back of the Celtics. So,
and I'm not a Julius Randle fan, by the way, guys.
I don't know who was taking the shots at the Knicks and what fan base you root for, but they're not far behind some of the teams you're rooting for. And even if there are Nets,
they're a game and a half behind being the 4th seed team in the NBA Eastern Conference.
Yeah, and even if there are Nets fans on that show too, which I'm sure being New York, there probably is somebody there too. They're only 4 games back or 5 games back of that big 3.
It's incredible. Tom Thibodeau, defense wins championships, and that's what he's teaching these kids. And if these kids continue doing what they're doing on the court, they're going to make the NBA playoffs, and they're going to make noise in the NBA playoffs. Watch out for the Knicks. I'm telling you right now, nobody wants to play a full course press team. That, remember, the game becomes a half-court game in the NBA playoffs. And when you have a dominant defense that can play the perimeter defensively the way the Knicks could play, you could be in every single game. You know what that means? That means you could beat anybody in the Eastern Conference.
I just want them to play the Nets, so just they can rattle one of them. Whether it's Harden or Kyrie. Whether it's Harden or Kyrie, I just want to rattle one of them.
They could beat the Nets. They really could. I mean, their defense could beat the Nets. I don't know all around if they have the tools to beat them, with the talent.
Yeah, they need more scoring for to have them actually win. I just want them to be pesky on them just to see it. Just want to see some kind of like bad blood rivalry type thing, even if they don't win, even if they lose in 5 games. I just want them to rattle one of them.
Carl says, I would say you have a shelf life of 4 years with Thibs as a coach, whether it's fair or not. His track record says 4 years before players get frustrated. Here's what I'm going to say about Thibodeau. Thibodeau has always wanted this job. He's always wanted this job, and he wants to bring a championship home to the Knicks. And I'm telling you right now, if there's anybody right now, any coach that I wanted to take over this job, a guy that wanted this job for years, and he was turned down 3 times before he got it, and he still interviewed for the position. To me, that's the guy I want. That's the guy I want to lead my team to battle. So I'm excited for the growth of some of these young players and where the Knicks are going to be in the near future.
Carl, by the way, you say you hate the Celtics. I wasn't referring to you. I was talking about the sports hit list.
Mm-hmm.
Carl,
yes.
At our network.
Carl Collage, who is a huge
Boston
Celtics fan. Yes,
fan. Yeah.
And they better make that move for Andre Drummond. If they want to win a championship this year, they want to compete with the Nets or the Milwaukee Bucks or the 76ers, you need a big man. So you need to go after Andre Drummond and do everything you can to make that move.
Especially the Bucks. They're thorn in the Celtics side all the time.
By the way, the New York Islanders are a 1.5. I say 1.5 because they're really 1 point out of first place.
3 points. 3 points out.
Oh, they won yesterday?
Yeah, they won.
The Bruins won yesterday.
I think the Bruins got a point yesterday, or they won. I forget.
They won yesterday.
They have 22 points. The Islanders
they won
have
yesterday
19.
because if the Bruins didn't win yesterday, the Islanders would have been a point out.
Okay.
So
all right, yeah.
The Bruins won yesterday.
Right,
so they're 3 points.
Yeah, it's 22-19 right now, and then they have a point lead on the next team in that division, which is the Flyers.
We will see. We will see, ladies and gentlemen. That's it for our show, ladies and gentlemen. We will be back next week for Down to the Wire and Below the Mic. The Weekend Crunch, guys, we're on the FM dial here in Long Island. You can listen to us on iHeartRadio, the LI News Radio. You go to the app iHeartRadio. You can listen to us at 7 p.m. on Saturday nights on the FM dial. Very excited. By the way, I got you, Speedy. I don't jump on bandwagons. I am a Bulls fan, so been suffering for quite a while. Well, guess what? The Bulls won 6 titles in the 90s, so I don't know how much I'm a Knick fan. I've been suffering for 50 years, and I wasn't even alive when they won a championship. So please, cry me a river, all right? The years that the Knicks could have won a championship, they lost the games like Charles Smith not hitting up a layup against the Houston Rockets.
Their best player couldn't did a finger roll.
Yeah, I'm done. Tebow to the Mets.
Tebow and the Mets. Yeah, he's on the spring training roster again.
Well.
Happy baseball season, by the way.
Happy baseball season a week away. I'm very excited.
Well, pitchers and catchers just got sent down today, so that's the official start.
All right. That's it for our show. We will be back next week. Thank you to Devin Kirkwood, the #1 corner prospect, UCLA Bruin, for joining us. Very excited to seeing this kid play and really developing into a superstar player. All the fans that tune into our shows every single week, all the shows that were on this today and throughout the week, we're really excited for the growth of our network and where we're going. So it's going to be fun and definitely pushing forward. That's it. Speedy, you have anything to say before we go?
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of fun with Devin today. Great kid, great interview, great personality, and looking forward to having him on again with those shirts for sure.
Yes, I'm going to get the shirts made.
Yeah, that's a really, really cool idea. And again, always a pleasure having him on the show.
Devin Dang Kirkwood. No more Gummy Bear, no King Gummy Bear. We got to call him Dang because that's him, man. Every single sentence was dang, dang, dang. I love it. That shows the personality and the drive of who he is.
And he's gonna make receivers that he faces
say dang
when they're facing Devin.
Devin Dang Kirkwood. Anyways, that's it for our show. We will be back next week. Until then, this is Errol Marks and the great tidy whitey man himself, Speedy Petey, saying good night. We'll talk to you then. Good night, everybody.
You're listening to the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
Hi, this is Terry Crews, actor, former football.